Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the pub. Yeah, everyone's here. Cool. Biscuit in the house. Spuds C. Gorgeous George. Pat Belly. Last Dance. Good to see all you guys. Thanks for being here. I just spent like the last 20 minutes trying to. Hello. 146, I could just say. I don't know how to say the rest of it, but hey, brothers and sisters. All right, cool. So yo, Derek, what's up? Gonna try a slight disaster here, but I actually just recorded a rhythm track on my phone. Yeah, I know, dude. It's not really a comb over yet. It will be, though. Can't hear the damn thing. Well, I guess I'm going to try it, all right? Fuck it. It could be a disaster. Let's give it a run. I guess I could take the headphones off. All right. 2, 3. Come down off your throne and leave your body at home. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting here for so long. Somebody holds a key, but in the end, I just ain't got a lot of time. So I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Cause I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. I just wanted to play the solo at the end. Stevie Winwood and Eric Clapton, great tune, Traffic. Yeah, I spent so much time on that stupid rhythm track, I didn't even make a drink. Whatever. I might have to run out and grab one, but all good. That's life, but not as we know it. How you doing, brother? Hey, Sammy Cat, upstairs on the deck, right on. Joe Nicholson, cool, man. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I know it wasn't great, but I really don't care. But I thank you anyways. Claps, thanks, Georgie. Yeah, cool tune. There's a great version of that one on YouTube, but Stevie and Eric play, and it's fairly recent. I don't want to say that recent, probably, who knows? Can't tell with Eric Clapton. The guy's kind of looked the same for the last 30 years, but It's just a good tune. It's got the same words over and over again, and it's just good, man. Good music. Tiny Blue Candies, Bud Light. Yes, I know. It, as everyone always is happy to point out, it's pussy beer. But, you know, it's hot as a motherfucker around here today, so, you know, whatever. Yeah, Bud Light cup. Exactly. Found my slide recently. Goofy thing that is. Tune 2 A. Open A. Open G. Works great for the slide. Thing is so goofy. I'm not very good at it. It's fun to fuck around with. Yeah, right, Joe. Right. I mean, it's hot. It's cold. It's in a blue can. Thanks. That's life. Yeah, bluesy blues. Exactly, George. Yeah, my brother was just telling me how he thinks that the slide guitar is kind of silly, but I've always liked it. And the really good players like Dwayne Allman, Bonnie Raitt, she's a fabulous player. It's a challenge to get those notes just right, man. Sliding that thing around on middle strings like that. It's just, I'm just playing hacky chord type shit, but really doing those intricate high notes on the solos and doing scales with the slide is not easy at all. Turn my light on. Cool. Wow, that's bright. Jesus. Too much. Much better. Turn it on a little bit later if I need to. Good old boys. Yeah, I mean, love that show. Cool tune, too. It was a good one, man. I mean, I didn't find anything offensive about that show. I mean, who does? But apparently, I think it was offensive to some people. Man, that grass tastes good. Well, anyways, as you guys always know, the link is in the description. I could really go for a margarita. If anyone upstairs wants to make me one. That is Greek, I believe. 146. Yeah, right, exactly. Yep. I guess that's probably licorice flavor or something like that. Anise. Oh, yeah, they run, thank you, wifey, but the shakers down here, the cocktail class, it's a shit show. I spent the whole last 20 minutes trying to record that stupid rhythm track. Yeah, Daisy Duke, she was fine, dude. Catherine Bachman, something like that, Bach. Hitting tonight. I don't know, dude. I forgot. I don't keep track of what it is exactly sometimes. I just Bach, yeah. Yeah, she was fine. She was, I mean, you go look up some of those old shots of her, man. She was a gorgeous woman. Not just you know, she was, I think, a little more than just there for the looks too. She added to the show, but she was certainly, you know, she invented one of the hottest types of clothing ever, you know, the Daisy Duke style of shorts. So yeah, there you go, George. That's a classic, American Pie. I guess that was about when Richie Valenzuela and Bobby Darin and that other character there died the day the music died. March 1951. She probably still looks decent. Oh, look at that. We're happy to have you on the deck anytime, Last Dance. You're damn right we would. Yep. Who was the other guy? The kid with the glasses. He's probably the most popular of the three. Buddy Holly. Thank you. All right. Let's bring in Mr. Vapes. How you doing?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Good, man.
Not too bad today.
Good. How's life over there in the old UK?
It's all right. I bought some. I attempted to buy some beer with my shopping, but it never arrived. So I'm still on Guinness. I wanted to try something a bit different.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I wanted some John Smiths for a change.
Is it possible that it'll still show up, or?
No. The shopping came. It's just the beer didn't.
Oh, ouch!
They said they had none left, which stupid. What kind of supermarket doesn't have like the second most popular beer in country?
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Wait, John Smith?
Yeah, it's a bitter.
Do they make an oatmeal stout, or is that Sam Smith I'm thinking of?
It is an oatmeal stout. Well,
okay.
It's like an OT. It's like an OT stout, yeah.
Okay, cool. Very good.
That would be a bit like Guinness, but a bit bitter.
Sure. Are you in the heat wave like we are here?
Yeah, I've got my fan blasted on me at the minute. It's just 1 minute. I'll tell you what temperature is. Oh.
Yeah, it was like 90 here today. And I finally got the white trash pool set up. $74? No, 81. Yeah, 81. It's not bad. 30 in Stuttgart. All right, cool. Let's
How
go
about
ahead.
you?
Yeah, it's 90 here today. It was ridiculous, but not too bad. I like it. I'm happy to have it this temperature. It's fine with me. Set up all the air conditioners and shit, so we're looking good. Trying to keep it cool here. Hey, Last Dance, how are you?
Hey, all right. How you guys doing?
Very
good.
well. Very well, thank you.
Drinking Guinness?
I am. Ice cold Guinness.
Yep.
2 Guinnessers.
2 Guinnessers.
I had mine in the freezer for the last hour, so it's ice cold.
Last week, you guys had a little run over on Aphid's channel, I guess, right?
I didn't.
Was that last week or week before? I think it was
last
week before, wasn't it? Was it last week?
Yep.
My mind's like mush.
You didn't join in Last Dance?
No, I showed up to say hello, but I didn't have the volume on. I was visiting. Didn't have headphones. I didn't want to disturb anybody. So.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. Yeah, it looked. Did you go on there, Biscuit?
I think so. I remember going on on Aphid's channel, but I couldn't remember if it was last week or week before.
Last week. Week before I did a show.
All right, okay.
But it was cool. I mean, I saw Duke showed up, which was pretty rare. So
Yeah.
And there was someone named Masshole Steve. I don't know if he ever said anything or not, but it wasn't me.
I think wasn't he the one that said foul language and then we kicked him off for after a second?
I don't know. It wasn't me. I didn't see him.
No, I think that was someone else.
Did you had a troll?
Yeah.
Huh. Nice.
It was. I don't think it was a troll. He just said something extremely inappropriate. I think.
Huh.
I can't remember exactly what he said.
Yeah. What is this guy saying here? Based Welshman. MSM are the enemy of the people. I don't know. What do you think about that, Last Dance? Would you say the media is the enemy of the people?
I think that's a little too harsh.
Okay.
I think they're going through a period now where you can't trust the mainstream media. They are
too biased.
They're too biased. Their first priority is to their politics.
Right.
But I think that's hopefully just temporary, and there'll be a reckoning at some point, and they will realize on their own that they're losing viewers precisely because they're not doing news. They're editing and sorting and putting on the opinions that they believe in, and stifling and censoring the opinions.
They're doing political propaganda.
But basically, yeah.
Yeah, and you said for their political ideals and also for their viewers' political ideals. So they want to keep what they have. So they're basically.
Yeah.
And do you think they over dramatize a lot of the news as well?
Well, that's
they say
always
the truth,
been true.
but they make it worse than it is.
That has always been true. I believe, what was the famous newspaper man, the Baltimore newspaper man from 70 years ago, who said something like, I don't know, he basically made the point that sensationalizing the news is done all the time to get, for viewers.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to look that up. That's
surely that should be the job of the late night shows.
Yeah. Thank you. They didn't have them back in what's his name's day. I can't remember his name.
Let's see what I can.
The Letterman.
Not Henry Louis Mencken.
H.L. Mencken. I think that is him. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's not that famous. Well, look at George just going forward here. Walter Cronkite. Yeah. Oh, nice guess. Cronkite famously took off his glasses, I think, maybe twice or three times ever on the news. Do you know the times?
I certainly remember him doing it when JFK was assassinated.
Correct. And I believe the moon landing, possibly.
That would not surprise me.
But yeah, the JFK one was that was heavy, man. Well, I've seen footage of it, but
yep.
Do you remember seeing it, like for real?
No, I was 1 year old, so I don't.
One.
Yeah. But I've certainly seen. YouTube has these multi-hour long captures of the news programs from that day, including CBS, where Cronkite was, and I find it interesting to watch them, to kind of place yourself back in time and get a sense of what it was like, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah,
it is, and everyone watched it. It was every household in America was watching him.
Yes.
He spoke to the people. It's crazy.
And it was interesting because they like now, back then they had to deal with a breaking story with fragmentary information, information coming in all the time, and they really did their best to state what they knew, to state what they had heard but weren't sure about. They were very clear about what was authoritative information and what was kind of rumor or maybe unverified information.
Right. And all of it was unverified at the time because there was no press conferences. They weren't informing people. It was all what they could discover at the hospital or from a cop who might be walking by, or it was just it was purely luck,
Yep. They also had live interviews with witnesses and so on, which was always very risky. I think one of those witnesses said something like they asked him, do you think the president could survive this? And he said something like, no, basically his head was blown off. Or something.
Yeah.
He didn't say that, but he said something that normally they would not have put on TV.
But it was a live feed right then.
But it was a live feed, right?
Okay. Yeah, usually they have a delay these days, but probably not back then.
Right, and it wasn't today. It wouldn't have been that controversial. You know, they were more careful, more censorship than, you know, about what you could say, and you know, he didn't swear or anything.
Sure,
it was kind of a graphic description.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fat Belly possibly remembering the Vietnam news announcements.
I vaguely remember those. Every day they would say how many soldiers died, and it was just numbing.
Thousands potentially. No, more like hundreds, probably.
Hundreds. Yeah, hundreds on a bad day. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, speaking of Vietnam, that's my new life goal. To go Vietnam and go from south to north.
I hear it's a nice trip.
On a motorbike.
Cool.
Big Harley.
A Honda 90. Following the footsteps of a lad called Ed March from good old Britain.
Huh. Who is that?
He went from somewhere far east in Europe all the way back to UK, and then he drove his Honda 90 from Alaska through Canada all the way through to bottom of South America in 2 years on a Honda 90.
That's like a kid's bike. I mean, it is.
It's not a kid's bike. It's an indestructible piece of engineering. It is the best production bike. In fact, it sold more units than Volkswagen Beetle and Ford put together.
I mean, but how big is 90 cubic centimeters?
It's tiny. It does top speed of 50.
Oh, that's pretty good
on a flat.
Yeah, I mean, considering like a Honda probably is like 650, has a top speed of what, maybe like 120, 25, you know?
The big thing with it is that parts are available everywhere. And you can literally fix it with a screwdriver and a spanner.
Alan Reeder has a suggestion for an alternative to the Vietnam War tour. He's suggesting the Korean War tour, and you can go from south to north.
Yeah. Stop at the border. I think
Vietnam is a much nicer looking country.
It is.
Well, and also you will fare better when you go into the north than you would
and to Blind Fury, Top Gear is part of the reason.
Oh, cool. I mean, there's got to be good beaches, as we all know. Charlie Don't Surf, according to, whose character was it in Apocalypse Now? Who played the...
Robert Duvall?
It was Duvall, yeah. Exactly. Charlie Don't Surf. Do you guys remember the movie?
I don't remember it now.
Apocalypse Now, not at all.
I remember Apocalypse Now.
They got
that's the one with I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
That's the same guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, a professional surfer got drafted, and they got him out on the beaches, and there's fucking artillery going off everywhere, and he gives him the surfboard, and he says, "Charlie, don't surf." And they send him out into the water, and he's surfing, and the war's going on. It's a very cool scene, surreal. It's a great movie. Although it didn't make a lot of sense, it was still great. Who was that directed it? Scorsese?
Is it him or Francis Ford Coppola? I don't know.
You might be right on that one. These Vietnam movies were worse than horror films to me. They are intense. The horror, exactly. Platoon was intense.
Yeah, that was intense.
Although that scene when they're all smoking grass through the rifle with the black guys, and they're listening to what was it? Like people saying the life of the party was because I tell a joke or two. Yeah, great scene. Smoking the herb through the gun barrel, and then they go to Lieutenant Barnes. I think was the evil sergeant or whatever, and him and his guys are all drinking Bud Lights, and they're all lame, or Budweisers, and they're not smoking weed. Like the juxtaposition of the cool, stony soldiers to the hard-nosed, like maybe blast from the past type guys, you know. You have to imagine it probably happened there, you know, depending on how old you were, where you came from. You probably had hippies fighting alongside of who knows what, you know, working guys, and just crazy, man. Yeah, Full Metal Jacket, intense. Although most of that took place in basic training. The actual war parts, yeah, there was some nasty parts in the war parts. And they get the sniper. Yeah, that was heavy. That was another great director. I can't remember. It wasn't Kubrick.
Oliver Stone, was that?
Stone, yeah. There you go. He's a serious Democratic supporter there, that guy, right?
He is. He's an odd bird. He's also a supporter of the Venezuelan communists. So take that for what you will.
Well, some people say that socialist and extreme democratic left are close together, and of course socialism and communism aren't that far apart. So you could say they could be maybe in the same, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I don't really know what his core beliefs are. You know, I know he believes in conspiracies, that JFK, and he also said he doesn't believe the story of how RFK was assassinated, which is a little strange because the guy that shot him was immediately captured. Sirhan, yeah.
And they had his notebooks with his writings. He might have had them on him, but they found them immediately. And
yeah,
it's bizarre. He's like repeating shit for page after page after page. And people say that it looked to them like he could have been brainwashed, possibly.
Who knows exactly? I mean, I think there are, as we've learned, in the 60 years since, there are just a lot of strange people out there, and
yes,
I'm not surprised that either assassination occurred.
I think it's one of the most shocking things in American history that two brothers, one president, one potentially running or in the process of running for president, both being gunned down by single shooter gunmen,
Yeah, it's a strange coincidence, but
it's bizarre. Bobby RFK said when he addressed the crowd right when Martin Luther King was assassinated and the news came out, I think RFK was about to give a speech to a group of black people, African American people, and they his advisors were kind of saying, "Don't go up there. This could be a disaster for you." And he went up and he said, "My brother too was killed by a white man," and he was a great communicator, and he communicated with the crowd with no fear. Absolutely brilliant thing to say to those people who were absolutely hurting, and then he fucking gets shot. Jesus, man, fuck, unbelievable.
Does anybody know why JFK was actually shot? Was it?
Yeah,
wasn't he a well-liked president? By a lot.
It doesn't matter. It just takes one person who's
got a grievance,
right? The guy that, if you believe this, the Warren Commission, and I do, probably nobody else watching this does, Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone to shoot him. Lee Harvey Oswald was angry that JFK has, sponsored or supported the Bay of Pigs invasion against Cuba, and all sorts of other depredations against Cuba.
Right.
And he was a member of an organization called Fair Play for Cuba.
Right. He was the only member, I think.
Right. Possibly.
So there wasn't like there was a group of people that had shared his
no.
his feeling.
Well, there probably were 1,000 crazy people who wanted to kill JFK for all different reasons. Perhaps a couple of the same ones.
Yeah, only one that followed through with it.
He defected to Russia and lived there with a Russian wife for a year and a half, and then I think either Russia sent him back or he decided to move back here. She came with him. He was married to a Russian woman when he killed JFK.
Right.
So clearly he wanted to be a Russian. I don't think the Russians wanted him. I think they were like, this guy's not worth it. And they sent him packing.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
He also traveled to Mexico City about 6 to 8 weeks before the assassination, trying to go to the Cuban embassy to defect to them, and they said no deal. Now, Mexico City was a hotbed for communism at the time. It was a major staging place for spies and for surveillance of the United States. So there's definitely a theory that he did link up with somebody who gave him a directive down there to do that.
I've heard all that stuff. I believe that he did it all on his own, and no one told him to do it, no one suggested it, and no one was working with him.
Yeah, it's more than likely the truth. It's just one of those things that I do question, but I question everything because there's nothing wrong with questioning, Well,
you have to question it because there's, the government has an incentive to suppress information if it's embarrassing to the government. So, and it's happened in the past, and so you have to, you really have to question these things, and especially when it's when the guy who shot Kennedy is conveniently killed, a few days later.
I mean, it couldn't have been the Russians, could it? The Russians were too busy trying to do the space thing.
The Russians would be too smart to assassinate JFK. Where the Russians and the Soviets and the U.S. were they're kind of in the same bathtub. You shoot our president, we shoot yours. You just can't win that way. The Soviets knew that, and I doubt they had anything to do with this.
Yeah, now around then the bombs were starting to get really effing big. Like city sized for one. So killing a president by another country would be an act of all out war, I would think.
It could be. It's too risky.
Killing a president, would that devolve into nuclear retaliation though?
Well, they say that's what started World War I, right? The assassination of
but there's a big difference between firing nukes between two countries, like firing them all to each other.
I don't think it would immediately trigger a nuclear war, but it would start an escalation that could end in something. What
was the relation to the Cold War? Was that before, during, after?
It was during, right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So there was already animosity between America and Russia.
Oh yeah, they'd already.
What do you think? 55, 56, 57? It really started, like the tension, the bomb shelters, the air raid drills.
Yeah, I forget when the Russians got. I think in 56 they detonated their first hydrogen bomb. Their first thermonuclear weapon, and so they had achieved parity then, and they had ICBMs and they had comparable technology to the U.S. in terms of long-range, nuclear missile capability and bombing capability. So, yeah, but the U.S. had already gone through the Cuban Missile Crisis with Russia, which was a very close call. And Cypher, this was there.
Right.
I was just writing that in Florida, we in the Cuban Missile Crisis, we learned how to get under our desks. We were gonna save ourselves from those nuclear explosions by hiding under the desk.
Right. Some interesting stuff came out. I think after the Soviet Union fell, maybe there are some Russian archives about what happened. Apparently, Castro wanted to launch nukes at the U.S. And the Russians said, no, we're actually taking our nuclear missiles away and taking them home.
Was that the Bay of Pigs incident, or
no, Cuban Missile Crisis?
That was the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was
okay?
after the. Well, was it? I think it was after the Bay of Pigs.
Okay.
Yeah, it was after the Bay of Pigs because part of the agreement for the Russians removing the missiles was for the U.S. to stop trying to overthrow Castro.
Mm.
Look at that craftsmanship.
It's a beauty. Is that bone?
I think so.
Very nice.
My sister and a community that she's mostly a member of are very supportive of a guy who is similar to yourself in Profile Biscuit Vapes. He has gone from about 550. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago. He went from 550 pounds, and now he's under 475. He's been in and out of the hospital. I don't know if you've been able to stay out of the hospital. I hope so. But
yeah, I've not been in the hospital apart from voluntary for checkups. And
this guy makes his side money by making these crafted knives, and so that's one of my asides from these important international talks that we're having.
Now, does he do that from scratch? Like he's
shown.
Like that show, what's it called? Forged in Fire. He's full-on blacksmith.
Pretty much, I think. I don't know a lot about his fabrication technique. This wood that's right. Where is it? I get backwards. Here. That wood. I get backwards. It's not finished. And he told, linseed oil, and then you put some, something else on it, and it's finished. And I'm just patronizing the guy. Not patronizing. I'm being a patron. I'm buying his crafted goods. Just like I buy other artist goods. There's a big difference, Last Dance, between a mark and a patron. I just want you to know.
I'm actually getting a set of hand leather stitching so I can make my own leather cover for my seat on my bike.
The Honda 90?
No, my electric bike, because the seat's uncomfortable as fuck, so I'm going to reupholster it with hand-stitched leather.
Interesting. Sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, it will be. It'll probably be about a month's worth of work, but it'll be worth it.
Cool.
It is a good topic that you guys were on, though, before I begin my usual asides that I pull.
All good, man.
It is good topic. I do have other asides. As your senior decrepit citizen of the talk, I had MRIs of both my elbow and of my neck. So now I've got a bone spur at C6, C7 that's impinging on the nerves that run down the arm. I'm going to get a nerve block for that, and then I have a torn tricep extensor tendon on the back of the arm, on the back of the elbow here. And I haven't, I've got an appointment with the hand surgeon to see if that'll be a surgically repaired thing. So those are my two latest revelations on the medical, and personal side. So that's probably all the personal stuff I'll drop on you guys tonight.
No problem.
I'm sorry to hear that you have all these issues.
Oh, they mess with me. When I started in on this college stuff, I realized that I was in agony trying to friggin' type and put out academic output, and I had to
play hacky sack. You were in agony trying to do that.
I never did like hacky sack. Well after my swimming career was over, I kept trying to do master swimming, and I was just too friggin' bullheaded and stubborn to realize that I was not ever going to enjoy life trying to exert, athletically. It was always going to hurt me. So anyway, it stopped. I've avoided being suplexed by anybody, so that's good.
That's good.
Suplex
is hurt.
Yeah. Don't piss off the Iron Sheik.
Or the Smoke Man over here. He'll get you too.
The real collegiate wrestling suplex, when they get the guy way up in the air, shit is violent. Like, that's not allowed in high school level, man. Pretty much your feet have to be kept on the ground for the most part, but collegiate and freestyle, boy, yeah, there's some bombastic slams.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm grateful that I didn't get any more smashed up and broken up than I did, physically.
Yep.
It could have been even worse than it is. So I'm happy. I have a question for you, Last Dance. In your technical career, were you ever considered a Scrum Master? Do you know what that is in agility? In agility,
I've heard the phrase, but no,
I thought you might have been a honcho. It was possible.
no.
I mean, takes a brain to code.
So
So
someday when I see you, I'll meet you and I'll tell you what I did for a living.
Okay, cool.
And I'll tell you how many I killed. But you could probably guess the answer.
Right.
Yeah. I'm
None.
I'm what's the right word? I'm psychic that way.
How many computer programs you killed?
How many bugs you killed in the programs? Yeah.
Oh, I've killed quite a lot of computer programs.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've killed a couple of computers.
I did one. I actually got the blue screen of death years ago, and I looked it up, and I was like, I got it. Wow, holy shit, I'm fucked. So stupid. I brought it to a computer repair place. They gave it back, and it was still fucked. I mean, why even spend money trying to repair them at that point? You're better off just saving up, getting a new one,
Yeah.
I remember when I knew it was fucked was when the search engine was changed to something called Cool Search.
Mm-hmm.
All right, don't drop it.
I tried downloading a game for my phone. Like pirating it, and it ended up filling my calendar full of "you may have a virus, you may have a virus" on every single day. And the calendar doesn't let me delete like a bulk amount, so I have to sit there with 7 months worth of every single day has got like 20 posts of "you may have a virus," and I have to delete every single one individually.
Got to be a way to stop that. I'm sorry that's going on, because that gets to you after a while.
Well, I've cleared in like 3 days. I've ended up clearing like 6 weeks of the 7 months worth of these. I can't see what I've got on my calendar because it's all filled up.
You can't click one, scroll all the way down to the end, hit shift, and click again.
Google Calendar doesn't let you. You've got to delete it one by one.
Jesus.
Wouldn't have
You can't even delete an entire calendar source.
Well, that's bad coding on Google engineers' part.
I mean, I would like to clear it all. I mean, I've only got like 6 different things that I have regular on it. Like I tell myself when I get paid and stuff like that.
Yeah. Somebody here on the sidebar says Facebook is the devil, Carol Collins. Yeah, I don't know why people have such a bias against Facebook. It's mostly 30 or 40 somethings keeping in touch with high school friends and looking at each other's kids and
and older, a lot of my age,
and their parents looking at the grandkids.
A lot of that. Multi-generational, and the trick to Facebook is just to never do anything political on it. Just use it as a social, friendship networking.
I barely even post on it. I've got a few couple. I use it like for my photos, but privately. They're all private, and other than that, I just use Messenger to message my friends. And the odd 1 or 2 times I'll use Facebook Marketplace, and I've got 2 or 3 groups that I use for like if I need any information, say about my bird, I'll go on my bird's.
Hello, Amrab.
They've got a green cheek Konya group, and they've got all the advice that I'll ever need on there.
Yeah. I mean, the reason people object to Facebook is because they're like all of Silicon Valley tech. They censor conservative or right-wing opinions, and
that's a problem.
People object to censorship,
right? Conservative opinions. I mean,
but you're right, Cypher. That's the way I use Facebook. I would never post anything political because that's not what I want I don't want to have a political discussion on Facebook.
I posted 1 or 2 posts about the Trayvon Martin incident, people, whining about the trial results, and I was defending the trial results. A month later, somebody was apparently semi-stalking me, and I get these, I'm not getting threatening or weird, but just, just reactions, just like, what do they call them? Emoji reactions, and it's like, let's delete these 2 posts and get that out of there. That was, I deleted just about everything that could be attached to me politically because of going back into college. And I just know that, back in the woodwork in those college, back rooms, you just got people looking for, the conservatives, ready to.
I mean, Facebook did mess me up once. It was about 9-10 years ago. I had all my holiday photos and all sorts, and I pissed off my daughter's mum once, and she posted a black man's naked body as my profile pic, and my account got instant banned, and I never got able to get back to those photos ever again
because somebody hacked, stole your password.
It wasn't hacked. I left my laptop at her house, and she, because she thought I'd been cheating on her.
Let's see. I think we can use the cunt word. That's a cunt.
Yeah, that's. I mean, this honestly,
Jesus.
Biscuit Vapes, like, this is what happens when celebrities leave their Twitter account open, because there's so many of them that have, other people do these tweets. Oh, that wasn't me or whatever, but it actually happened to you.
It did, yeah. Why the hell would I put a black man I've never even met? In fact, why would I put a black man I had met?
Hey, I don't judge. I don't judge.
I don't judge either.
No, it's fine, dude.
Yeah.
That's
whatever floats your boat.
The worst part about it is I didn't even know it had happened until my family said that your account's gone. And then people just showed me like screenshots of a picture of what were on my profile pic, and my account was dead. It was gone forever.
That's pretty sad. And
I had 7 years of all my best memories when I was like super skinny, and I was climbing mountains and kayaking in Scotland, and I had pictures of eagles and all sorts.
Yeah.
That I took myself.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
Bummer, man.
Yeah, that's no
fair. I don't. These guys are ranking on Twitter here in the chat. I don't mind Twitter. I like it.
I think Twitter's definitely more political than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I follow like you guys. Besides you, Biscuit, you're never there, but. And Hayden,
I drop in every now and then. I see 1,000,001 Hayden tweets, and I'm I'm going to comment on that.
He's pure entertainment, man. I don't bust in on his stuff sometimes, but he's just fun to read, quick read, here and there.
He is.
Somebody was busting his chops recently for the opinion of what was it that people weren't happy with that he said during the Richie interview. Do you guys remember?
I can't remember.
Was it that he wasn't respecting Richie? He wasn't letting him talk or something?
No,
like
it was he didn't like a particular group or something, or a website or something like that.
Who knows?
It was a tweet about it.
The perpetually offended are always offended.
You put a picture of Bratz, but with a baby on it, George. That was the tweet. Don't let the Bratz get to you. That you were responding to him, discussing it. Yeah.
UK column. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
I have so many good old memes, from the good days.
Johnsonville Bratz.
Not that good, personally, my opinion. But I'm not a bratwurst guy. I think they put nutmeg in bratwurst or something. It tastes like cinnamon. It's got a funny taste.
I enjoy it. got to watch that weight when you're an inactive senior citizen like me. I'm up above 250 again. Damn it! I was down hanging right in the high 230s, low 240s, which is still very fat. And now I'm that's all right. Not a big deal.
You're going out to dinner all the time with your girlfriend.
Well,
I'm eating that chow hall food that I told you guys about a few weeks ago. Man, it's great. What biscuit?
I think I've lost a little bit of weight.
Good.
I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Eating kids' meals.
Oh yeah. You still have that real good. What is it called? Not continental breakfast. What's it called? Scottish.
I've not been having those. I've just been having maybe a slice of toast or something.
Yeah, that's the first one that always got to me about you. Starting your day with that high-fat breakfast was like you're just setting yourself up. Your body is going to want more and more and more, in my opinion.
I thought that I was eating like high protein, so I was filled up for longer. I wasn't eating till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, a small bowl, like toast with a hard-boiled egg or two, that's a hell of a good breakfast. One piece of toast, something like that, a little extra protein. I do the cereal most days, although, once in a while I have an egg. So.
But half your room just went out.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
Fuck was that? Fuck was that?
The air conditioning, everything just zipped up, popped out the breaker panel.
You got any storms in the back in the woodworks back there? No storms out there?
No,
that's
no storms.
I've had blinks, that'll be from thunder and lightning. That's 10 miles away. It'll hit the it'll hit the lines and do something to a circuit.
I guess that one of the ladies just ran the microwave, and when you run the microwave with the air conditioner, it pops a breaker every time. Too much draw.
Yeah. Can't size up the breaker, or is that not?
It's
wiring won't allow it.
I don't know. I probably couldn't. It's harder to get regular breakers. They're all arc fault interrupters now, arc fault circuit interrupters, which are super touchy when it comes to motors and fans and stuff like that. Because often when a fan starts or a motor starts, there's a spark. There we go, and that can trip an arc fault breaker. Yeah. So we've got a guy down the bottom here. It says Burke 2000, and it has just remember the light in Knight Rider that was on the front of the car that went side to side.
I think we've had that before, haven't we?
I don't know. I'm not letting them on unless I see a person.
You got the EMF and then the CEMF, the counter electromagnetic force.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
You got the one, you got the other.
The yin and the yang.
That's electrical talk.
Yeah. Let me see here.
I worked, in the trade work that I did. I mean, I wasn't an electrician per se, but in the pool, the pool service stuff that I told you guys about. I mean, I worked with closed electrical circuitry with motors and the pumps that were, they're not electrical themselves. The pumps are, but the motors sure are. And then, the rest of the circuitry, I periodically had to evaluate, and I wouldn't replace breakers myself. I was smart enough not to, since I was an electrician, to start doing shit that I wasn't licensed to do and could be dangerous. I've zapped myself once. Is lucky if I had hit the 220 wires with that part of my hand. What it does to you is it goes and you grab it. But I hit it with the back of my hand, and I mean, it practically knocked me off of it. It jolted the shit out of me. And I've had it happen a couple of times with both 110 and 220. But
changing breakers is not a problem if you have the master switch at the top of the panel where you can shut it off. That shuts off both sides.
Right.
Then, of course, you have a sniffer, you have your wiggy testers, and all you have to do is the bar that the breaker, you just push it onto it. It's like spring loaded. It squeezes onto the metal. There's no danger in that as long as it's in the off position. And then, of course, you have to fish your neutral wire down to the neutral bar, and it's not that hard. I've changed breakers many times.
Right,
I'm not,
right.
not an electrician, but
Right.
we in the weatherhead here, where that's where the wires come in from the outside, the angle was a little off, and we were getting some water in it that were traveling down into the breaker panel, and it got a little rusty. I had to change some breakers and do some sanding of the metal to get rid of the rust, so you have a better connection. But whatever. I don't want to get into details.
That's interesting. I mean, it's as interesting as talking about world events that we know nothing about.
Yeah. George, do you have memory of the JFK thing happening? Like, how were you of age to remember it?
The assassination.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember a guy's. I mean, it's not like I'm breaking his anonymity, but just this guy. We were in fifth grade. I'm pretty sure it was fifth grade, and his name was David Welty, and not another girl or boy in the class reacted with high emotion, and this kid just busted out, bawling, crying.
Really? Wow.
And nobody thought it was funny. I mean, we were like, just sort of all in. I mean, you can't really call it shock, but we were all just.
So did they tell you in class? Did the teacher tell you?
Yeah, we were told in class during school day. That was pretty strange. I mean, it was, whoa. And then, of course, I guess we got, I remember my parents, vaguely, I remember how they responded, and it was just very solemn. It was a very solemn, helpless feeling that everybody had.
Right.
Because, we're not, is Abraham Lincoln the last one before Kennedy that was assassinated? I know there were attempts, but a successful assassination?
I think so.
Yeah. And
Teddy Roosevelt was shot, but he didn't die.
Right. And it was something that changed the collective consciousness of the entire nation, at that point. And of course, in the decades that have passed, I mean, you've got every theory out there. I won't even call them conspiracy theories. There's just theories, of all sorts that are out there.
Hey, Cypher, what grade were you in when Lincoln was assassinated?
I wasn't even a gleam in my daddy's balls back then. I tell ya. Or his eyes. I'd be a gleam in his eyes and a load in his balls.
I do recall that we were watching the
McKinley. That's right.
McKinley. I remember watching the shuttle explode. What was that? Whichever shuttle.
Challenger. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually have pictures of that. I think they're right over there.
I was in class and we watched it, and it blew up, and they shut the TV off. And they didn't really explain a lot to us, but I remember we happened to be in science class, and the science teacher was visibly crying and kind of like not wanting her face to be seen. But It was, I was pretty clueless, honestly, at the time. But I don't know if I grasped what had really even happened.
What was it? 7 astronauts that died?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, school teacher and
Krista McAuliffe, I think was her name.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sounds right.
Yeah, and that's why later I obviously put it all together. That was the teacher, and obviously probably a science teacher, I'm guessing. But so it was definitely heavy.
We do have pictures of that. I don't know. I guess it must have been.
We got a new guest in the chat.
It must have been my mother that was taking pictures, but we have pictures of the actual, one after another, picture of the explosion of the Challenger, and they're somewhere in this condo. I thought, I was over there grabbing pictures and looking at them, but none of them are the ones that are related to what we're talking about.
One of the greatest bureaucratic lines ever was uttered that day. Obviously, a major malfunction.
Right.
Oh, I was very pissed off because do you remember what the actual problem was? It was the O-rings and the putty. Putty and the O-rings, and I'm a friggin' as the pool fucking man, I know about O-rings and putty, and I said, you fucking, rocket scientists did know any fucking better than to.
That's not true. They knew better. Their managers said, "Oh, it would be terrible publicity if we delayed it again."
I think they asked for another month or 90 days. I think they asked for it and were denied, and they went forward with the launch. Something like that.
Well, whoever was in charge was an asshole. Because you can't let putty freeze, in essence, and then expect it to seal an O-ring. It's just not going to happen. So...
I forget which other one it was, but there were some of the tiles on the bottom of the shuttle had come off, and it was only because there was a stainless steel patch behind where they fell off, and that's the only reason that craft came back alive.
Huh.
Yeah, I forget which shuttle it was. It might have been Discovery.
Yeah, the one that went down over Texas. There was another one that crashed. Were you just going to say that?
No. Carol.
I don't remember which one that was, but I remember it coming down, looking like a bunch of fallen, shooting stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Horrible.
That was the most recent one, wasn't it?
What was the name of that one? Anybody remember? On Sidebar? Anybody on Sidebar remember that
Columbia?
one?
Maybe, yeah.
I think it was.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
It was the Challenger, Columbia, and Discovery,
and then later I think Endeavour.
Yes,
yeah.
Bob Hurley and Dunk. I forget the other guys. Something Duncan or something.
Yeah,
those guys who went up on
Dragon Capital. Excuse me.
They both went on that one.
Yeah, that was.
And the name
those were the tiles.
After it.
It was the tiles. They recognized, in the examination, forensic examination of what went wrong, that during the launch, they saw these heat resistant tiles being. What was stripping them off? There was something.
It was
foam insulation. Foam insulation
off the booster.
Right.
And that had happened many times previously.
Oh yeah,
and it was always dangerous, and they got used to it not causing a disaster, so they just they said, what are the odds that it'll cause a disaster? About 1 in 2. All right,
1 in 2
sounds good to me.
Yeah, roll the dice.
Exactly. I'm good down here.
Yeah, good to go. Getting my regular paycheck.
It's funny. That's foam is very soft, and you wouldn't think something soft could damage, but when you're going, Mach 2 and hit something soft, it's incredibly hard. I remember when I was
technically the bits of foam was moving relatively slow compared to, like the moving object. There was the inertial reference was actually quite slow.
And the Vapist has, I think, the correct. Memory on that. The ice broke the tiles. I think that sounds right. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds more plausible. It was the ice on the foam that probably did it.
That's not what I recall.
No. Well, it's moot. Not really of consequence what we decide.
Cup of tea.
A cup of tea done. 5 pressies killed.
Cup of tea. You're going to get a knock on your door.
Pressies. What are pressies?
Presidents. You see the last one who has on the
list? After hair is killed. Yeah.
Hey, Secret Service, he's just kidding.
She'll bite his head off.
He's a good guy. He's a funny guy.
His head off. I'm sure.
Leave him alone.
She's rabid, that one. She'll bite his head off.
I agree.
Yeah, I tell you.
I'm going to bring in Mr. Lessons for Life. How are you, pal?
Oh, hey, man.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
you're on a different channel tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a different channel. It's the same people, different channel.
Good stuff. Well, great to see you nonetheless.
Yeah.
My ears pricked up when I heard about the conspiracy theories and the assassinations, obviously. Whatever got Robert F. Kennedy Jr. into conspiracy theories, I can't imagine.
Well, I have a big thing about the coup in Iran. Pre. When was it? Before the takeover of the British petroleum,
When
oil refining.
Dr. Mossadegh was ousted in 1952 or 54.
Sounds right. 54.
Yeah, and they imposed the Shah. Yeah, they imposed.
Before that. Yeah, before that. The regime before that regime before the Shah. There were two regimes. One was willing to negotiate with British Petroleum for the refinery rights, and his regime was, I think he was assassinated, and he was replaced by those who then nationalized the oil refineries, and that's been a big part of the entire Iran Western world, animosities that have happened.
Well, British Petroleum was originally Iranian Petroleum, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I mean, it may have been named Iranian Petroleum, but it was founded and financed and capitalized by Western.
God put our oil underneath other people's countries.
Well, you didn't have Iranians didn't have the ability to put refinery production into place, and there ought, in my opinion, to have been negotiations and not nationalization.
It's interesting.
Well, in my opinion, that oil should have stayed where it frigging belongs.
Under the ground. There you go.
In the ground, not polluting the earth.
But if I'm right, it was Dr. Mossadegh who he nationalized the oil, and that was what made Britain get the Americans to oust him. Was that operation?
I was at one point familiar with the entire. I mean,
I think it might be Operation Ajax.
As a layman, familiar with the entire history of that series of events, and now I just have to profess not ignorance, but I can't tell you I have mastery of the fact pattern right now. So,
like so many CIA operations, this one had substantial blowback eventually.
Well, it was I've always thought that the Middle East's bacon got saved by Western Allied forces against the Nazis in particular, and to a degree the Russians. And I mean, there's a point where I have to profess that or admit, I won't even profess it, I'll admit it, that my layman's analysis is relatively primitive. I'm not saying that I have a historian's viewpoint on what's happened, but I do have a Westerner's viewpoint, and it's different than a lot of the Middle Easterners' viewpoints.
Well, the Iranians are Aryans. They might well have sided with Hitler.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Muslim world to a great degree did, have those tendencies. Did they not? Or am I incorrect on that?
Well, we've got a couple of examples. The Muslim SS in Bosnia would be the main one that springs to mind. Mm-hmm. And long before Saddam Hussein was dropping chemical weapons on Kurdish people, Winston Churchill was doing it before even the Second World War. So you can understand why the people in the Middle East might think that their enemy's enemy might be their friend. And Turkey were with the Ottoman Empire were with Germany in the First World War, and Lawrence of Arabia tried to spark the Arabs to revolt against them, which they did. So there's lots of playing people off each other.
I mean, the politics of, the intermeshing of first and third world countries is just as complex and as volatile as can be. Personally, I never did trust the Turk guy who was selling those Camel cigarettes. I never did like that guy. I don't know if that's too obscure a reference for you to remember, but there was a very famous, front man for Camel filterless cigarettes, and he was the Turk, and the Turk was, of course, Turkish, and he was tough, with the real close beard and tough.
Well, you know why, don't you?
Because he was a Turk.
No, because the Camel said, their claim is that they're a blend of fine Turkish and other tobaccos.
That's right. This is an aside, Lessons for Life. I'm just sort of
that's good.
Into humor. I'm not going to take this whole discussion too seriously.
It's interesting. Yeah, the Turks probably were seen as an enemy before the German. I mean, how many pubs are called the Turk's Head? It's kind of like
it's like
a
the
villain
Hogshead.
character.
Hogshead Inn.
Yeah, what's interesting is you guys said that the oil is contained, I guess, underneath a country, therefore it is the possession of said country. Is there any law that says that? And I mean,
that was a huge issue with Kuwait.
It's natural resources, natural resource rights.
Kuwait was, drilling kind of diagonally underground, and Iraq said, "That's my oil."
Oh, well. And
Kuwait said, "Down is down."
I mean, are you referring to the first Persian Gulf War?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a nightmare. I mean, on the retreat where every well was set alight. That's just
technically under the ground is unexplored and can't be owned by anybody.
There's mineral rights.
That's what you say.
Yeah. I mean, that's the attorneys might differ with that.
That's like saying that the space above your head is owned by your country, also.
Well, there is
you're in
restricted airspace. Yeah, there's restricted.
Yeah, but I'm on about much more above that. Above the Kármán line.
How about on that subject, Seward's Icebox, right? The purchase of Alaska for what I think $6 million.
I vaguely remember Seward, and
I think that turns out to be a pretty good profit.
Quite a purchase. The Louisiana purchase was a good one,
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
No problem, buddy.
Okay.
Are you doing a show tonight, Lessons for Life?
No, do you know what? I was thinking about it, and then I saw you guys, and I thought I'd rather be part of you lot.
Cool, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's good that you've got a regular slot Saturday. I think that is the way to do it. When I organise my life better, I will try and I'll try not to clash with you either, so I can
don't organize.
Taking lessons from your own name.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's even out the stream here and bring on
who's coming in.
Aphid motherfucking lip.
There he is.
Motherfucking Aphid lip.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Man, I'm angry at them words there down there.
Mother effing.
Man, I'm taking that personally.
Why did you have sex with your mom?
No, now I'm taking it personally.
Right. You thought it was personal before.
Hey, Aphid Lip, how you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
All
Very
right.
well.
Good.
All right. It's great group.
Yeah, hey, I set up the pool today, Aphid.
Oh, yeah, did you?
It's about 95% full.
Oh, man, I could have used that today. It was hot here, too, a little hotter than where you are.
I got in mine today.
Yeah.
I put it up last weekend.
I'd say there's no more, but probably a 2-inch difference in level around the whole thing. We have
how far across is yours?
15-footer.
Also, it's almost exactly like mine.
Yeah, by 4 feet deep.
I think mine's 16 feet across.
I mean, it looks good. It looks if the filter's running.
Did you use sand to level it off, or did you just like?
Yeah, on one side it was about 13 inches of sand to 0 on the other. So,
is that the side that's lower now?
No, it's actually like if the low side was here and the high side was here, it's on the sides of the high to low side, one of the sides. We weren't paying attention to those as much, and then boom, the side near the bird feeder is a little low, and I'm gonna move that because the birds are perching. They think the pool's like part of the bird sanctuary. So
they'll be shitting all over that thing.
fucking Christ, God damn it! But,
Yeah, I almost was gonna get in the pool and talk to you guys, but
Yeah. Go ahead and bring the extension cord out there. That's what I'm doing.
well, I figured if I use my Bluetooth headphones, not these, but they do have a mic on them, so I could use just earbuds or whatever, and then I could go run that through my laptop that was connected to a camera that was set up by the side. I wouldn't really be able to see you guys, but you could. I'll lather up with some coconut oil, and you guys can.
You know what? If you took
be
like
lucky enough to see me.
If you took an air mattress, you could set up like a low beach chair.
Oh
on
yeah,
it, just float around on the air.
The thing I have is basically a full or a twin size blow up mattress, but it's just got arms and a place to put your beer, and it's got some flashy blue and white ink on it. And
You know what you should do? You should just put a boat in your pool.
Yeah.
And then put your computer on the boat.
As long as I wouldn't have to get wet, because like right now that water is ice cold.
It's fucking need it here, man. 90 today. It was crazy hot.
Yeah, it was about that. It was the first time that I was like, oh man, the air's like thick and it's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Because it's like that hot, thick air.
Thankfully, we're near the ocean. I get the.
Oh yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
No.
It washes all that shit out.
It does.
So how many of you guys are hearing cicadas?
I haven't heard any of them.
We don't have any here.
Yeah, we got it. It's otherworldly outside.
Is it really? Because we were like that. We've been like that in the past, but not so far this year. Because I was kind of wondering when they were going to start acting up out there.
Shit. Do you have a video, Last Dance?
It's interesting where my daughter lives. There are cicadas visible just everywhere. It's like they're just, you can't walk without running into them.
Oh,
Here, I don't see many cicadas, but I can hear them in the woods, and it's that kind of that 50s aliens, movie kind of
right.
in the background, constant noise.
It's
And
like
you don't have that every summer?
In the summer, it's more like it's more like a buzzing.
Yeah,
Right.
the buzzing. That's the cicadas I know of.
Yeah, no, this brood, there maybe because there's so many.
This brood.
It what's called Brood X.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like Generation X, but it's Brood X. Yeah, but when they're
our worst pests that are on swarm at this time of year are flying ants.
Interesting. Let's revisit that. I want to hear more about the cicadas. Last Dance. What were you going to say?
for some reason the pitch seems higher for Brood X. I remember every year you hear the cicadas it's kind of a lazy buzz in the background, but every 17 years there's this massive
Right.
Brood X, and I wish I could record the sound and play it back.
Yeah, that would be good. Sorry, Biscuit, what were you saying about the ants?
I was just saying that our worst pest that flies en masse like once a year is the flying ants.
Flying ants.
They don't make any noise as such. They're just fucking annoying.
Huh. Yeah, we don't really have that here.
Yeah, where I used to have my office, here in this town, in the middle of the summer, I think it was the middle of summer, the cicadas would get up in this huge oak tree, and they would all start at once, and they would, just like you're saying, Last Dance, the pitch would be just incredibly intense. I'm looking for the Challenger pictures, is why I'm...
Is that a subspecies, the cicalas?
Did I say cicalas? It might be the alcohol talking. I'm distracted by these pictures, so don't mind me.
Man.
I thought maybe that's just how they pronounced it down there in Florida.
I am all cicala, yeah.
And down in the Ogallala.
Yeah.
In the Ogallala.
Is that how you say that? Is that right?
Yeah, right, in the Chattahoochee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here in Eastern Florida.
with those
Are
high
there
built
just
woodpeckers.
normal cicadas that drive Chevy Impalas?
That's right. They drive Chevelles, you know.
Only
I
6
don't
floors.
know. I don't know. I'm just going with the humor.
Bye. See you later. She's saying bye, so I'm gonna say goodbye.
Who's leaving?
Anna.
Bye, Anna.
Oh, I guess I didn't have my thing refreshing.
You got to refresh those things.
I got to.
That's all right, man. Good show you had last week there, Aphid.
Oh, did you get to see any of it?
I briefly.
Yeah. What happened to you?
My imaginary college buddy friend actually did.
Oh, that's
finally
right.
come
Yeah, I think you told me.
And,
that was supposed to happen with me tonight, and it fell through.
It was killer. He brought a bottle of Don Julio, which we didn't even touch, and then he left it here. That's a $60 bottle of tequila. Generous guy. But now I'll feel guilty unless I wait for him to come back to drink it. So, but I'll have a taste. You got to. It's just too good.
Just claim it was a bad seal and they evaporated.
We opened it and smelled it. And then we were like, then I made a cocktail for us with my booze. And then he's like a one drink guy. And then he goes to the beers, which is smart because if you drink cocktails all night, you can get pretty slammed.
Yeah, especially if you're toking that herb that you like to lap your rips or lap.
Yeah, and we did
wrap your lips around.
Speak properly, I think. Come on, man.
Copious amounts.
You can make those words.
Like,
Did you?
We smoked a new strain that to the both of us, and it was absolutely mind-blowingly strong.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's fun night. Yeah,
I hope you killed a lot of brain cells.
But it doesn't kill brain cells.
Sure it does. I feel stupider every time I take a hit.
That's a fantastic antioxidant.
No, alcohol.
I've heard that smoking weed makes you paranoid. That can't be true, can it? Surely not.
It does make some people paranoid.
Yeah, don't make me paranoid.
Because I have neurological problems, it made me
doesn't it?
paranoid. Yeah.
I gotta tell you what the different
couldn't make
strains.
me.
It affects different people differently, you know.
With the different strains, I think everybody could probably find something that could work to their advantage. But if you got something that you don't work right with now, you get wasted. The weed's so powerful now.
Yeah, I know some older guys who used to smoke, and now they say, like, as it progressed along in their lives smoking, they started to get paranoid and didn't want to be around people when they smoked. So it became like it wasn't a pleasant experience for them. But I don't know. For me, if I'm like going to cast plugs down at the beach, try and catch some fish. If I smoke a little bit and I'm down there solo, it's epic. There's nothing better.
You surf fish or pier fish?
Surf.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever take a kayak and kayak your hook and gear out?
I found one for under 500. I wanted to get, but dude, I'm not going to lie to you. This is the North Atlantic here, and the waves can be big, and there's great white sharks out here, so you have to be careful.
What are you, pussy? You just punch him in the nose.
Right.
And the water's cold.
Kayak or canoe? What's the difference?
Kayak would be me by myself with a single paddle with flippers on both ends. A canoe, you have one paddle with the flipper on one end.
Okay.
To me, the difference is that a kayak is a boat with a top that's covered.
Not
a
always.
Canoe is open top.
No, they have sit on top kayaks too, where you
I like the oar theory.
Yeah,
because I went sea kayaking and it was like as you described, one with two things on each.
Right.
And you go one way and then the other way.
Calm sea or a choppy sea?
It was quite choppy. It was down on the south coast of Ireland, next to Waterford.
North Sea.
I guess would it be the Irish Sea?
I don't know. What
it was a bit choppy,
right.
and we went into some caves, and
cool.
you could get bashed onto the side.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
One of my
part.
favorite. I don't know if you're familiar with Live Leak at all. When it used to exist, Lessons for Live. But one of my favorite live leakers was No, Owen Higgins. Come on.
I remember him. I remember that name.
And he actually has his own YouTube channel, and he periodically posts there. Yeah,
Is it called Owen Higgins?
It's his name. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, he does that Lessons for Life. He goes in, but I think he goes into the. I'm not sure what he does. I mean, he goes into a lot of lakes, and he does a lot of kayaking and a lot of Scottish and Irish. Well, I guess it's Irish mountains. You know what they. Who's going? Who's waving?
No, I don't know. Who is that? What is that work? I don't know what she's saying there. Is that a place?
Hi from Valencia and Memoir.
I'm not familiar with that.
Somewhere in Spain? I don't know.
Oh, hi. Hello, Emma.
Yeah,
From Valencia.
HP hate.
Was that a good effort? Was that a good effort, Emma? Or was that silly, what I just said?
I'll answer for her. It was silly.
Okay. Well, I'm known for that. Yes. But yeah, the kayaking is not for me. You know, I don't know if you were here earlier, Lessons for Life, when I was talking about the bone spur at my 6th and 7th cervical and the torn tricep tendon on the back of my right arm, and so I'm sort of boned here. I've got appointments with a pain management specialist to do a nerve block, and I've got an appointment with the hand surgeon to see if we're going to surgically repair the torn tendon.
You did a lot of training in your youth?
Yeah, I was a real
bodybuilding, right?
Hammer-headed, athlete wannabe. I was an athlete that was modestly accomplished in my late teens and early 20s, and then from there on out it was all just sheer what do they call that, striving in vain. I should have not been doing what I should have been was doing. I should have been academically advancing myself.
Hey, you enjoyed it
very quickly.
There was a lot of chronic pain.
To Roulette down at the bottom, whatever your name is, can you just wave?
Oh, I don't see them.
Wave your hand. Can you to Roulette with sitting like this down at the bottom? Can you wave?
What about Aerophian? What do they look like?
Well, he's no picture, but give me a wave, guys. Are you there, or is this a video?
There's a walrus in here.
He's not waving.
Not waving.
People try it on and they put a video up.
Well, they end up trying. What they try to do, and it's happened more than once, is they come on and then they do something that's meant to violate the terms of YouTube.
I had one as well.
Yeah, they one last week when I went live. He tried to anally rape me. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience.
I watched the replay. You lie.
Well, I think you two cut it out because it was so horrible.
Well, we had the guy who looked like an African American fellow, but that's
the one, right?
But he ended up putting up a shooting video.
What's that shooting called? The one
he was a white
Australia.
Kid. It was a white kid talking black.
Christchurch.
Yeah, remember that Lessons for Life? The one where the man went in and traveled to different Muslim institutions, and how many people did he kill? 40 or something
52,
like that?
I think. I remember, Arrow Fion, can you wave? Can you give me a wave there, guy?
Unbelievable.
Arrow Fion, how you doing, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Philip, I did miss your show, but I watched the replay. I was studying.
Did you? Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for that view. I wondered who that one view was.
Was it me? And an upvote. A view and an upvote.
I'm gonna have a contest, so you would have good odds. For this.
Yeah,
if you watch it,
a lottery for all the views.
I watched this guy that I watched. He's in Australia, and he always messes around with like old computers and mostly old Macs and stuff. And he had a thing where he was going to give away these tablets, and I won. And I got the tablet this past week. It took like 4 months, but the shipping on it was $39. I'm like, he had 40 of them he shipped out, and he doesn't get like a lot of views.
40 ecstasy tabs or
No, like 40 of these tablets, these laptops.
Oh,
Not laptop, just Android tablet.
Oh, okay.
So he paid
iPad.
$40 for 40 of those.
Damn.
A lot of them.
Man,
Is it worthy? Does it work?
Yeah, but it's an old Nexus 7 tablet. He got a whole lot of them, and
What
he
kind
had
of
them all.
memory? 32,
I don't
64?
No, this is like a just
Eight?
like a $100 tablet
Four.
from like 8 years ago is what it was.
I mean, it might be 32, probably. Who knows? I mean,
It's got one gig of RAM, if that's what you're. And probably
I've got a Nexus
32
7
gig of
upstairs
space
that needs a
somewhere
big
around.
screen.
RAM.
It was fantastic back in the day.
Hmm?
The Nexus 7 was a brilliant tablet back in the day.
Yeah. It was like a popular tablet.
Yeah.
But
I
that
would-
was still like 7-8 years ago, though.
if
Yeah.
I wonder
Like
if it
nobody
would-
wants them now, you know.
I
I've
wonder
got
if it would
I've got a
support.
Fire 7 HD now.
Gentlemen, I've got to shoot. Great
Oh,
to see all of you.
Lessons.
All right,
Yeah.
brother.
Great
Hope
seeing
the
you.
new family's doing
short,
well.
sweet,
Lessons for
yeah,
life.
yeah. Thank you
Always
so much.
important to
Lovely
say
to see all of
Pleasure
you.
to talk to you.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice one.
Yeah,
Take
Take care,
guys.
man. See ya. I wonder if you could play Call of Duty mobile on that thing.
Well, in the video, he like goes through the paces with it. He played like a lower end of Minecraft. He was able to play on there, and I feel like he did play some kind of shooter game.
I recommend that one for a quick phone game. It's killer. It's
What is it?
Call of Duty mobile. It's free.
Oh, okay. Me and my son, I let him since he turned 12. I got an Xbox 360, and
I think
we
the best
play.
game you could play on the Nexus 7 was Dead Trigger.
All right, I'll look that one up. And then, so I let him play Call of Duty if he plays with me. But he just wastes me, man. He's like so much better than me. Like
Dude,
just trashes me.
on Call of Duty mobile, you can be on the same team fighting together to like kick everyone else's ass. It's very cool. But you'd have to both have your own devices. But
Right.
it's
Oh yeah, we do. We got that going on. We could probably try that.
fun as hell, man. Fun as hell. I love it.
I just don't. I can control. Like I know that I got the game and everything set up. If I got some mobile app with him, he'd be playing that shit, and I wasn't looking.
Oh yeah.
Because I still think Call of Duty is a little harsh. And
It's called the
environment,
Pooter, by the way.
in an environment with a bunch of
I mean,
people talking online, playing that game together.
Yeah, there could be people like me on there.
Right, exactly. I don't want my son hanging around.
Any of
somebody
you
like
guys
me.
were ever sucker enough to buy that guy, the Pooter?
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
I like that guy's videos.
That's the Pooter.
So that's the real Pooter?
That's the Pooter.
That's what it looks like, huh?
Yeah, it's a piece of shit.
Oh.
I
Is that
thought it
guy
was
still
gonna be
around? Does that
really-
guy still make videos? That was like 10 plus years
Jack
ago.
Vale, I think.
Yeah, Jack Vale. That was
Jack
it. Yeah.
Vale, yeah.
He was
So
the
may
first
I-
place. Go ahead.
Cypher, may I call you Mark from now on?
Mark Pooter? Yes.
Did you buy that?
I do. I'm such a sucker. Now that's a Mark.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I have a cool story though. Well, it's I mean, when you put out goodwill into the universe, it'll sometimes come back to you.
That's what the Beatles said.
It's true. It is true. My step family, I was very kind, and I laid out capital, I laid out revenue for various expenses, and I paid off the student loan for one of my step family members to the tune of about $25,000.
Wow.
And
Very generous of you.
this young man went after the money to be returned because it was a third-party private lender that was predatorily lending the money out in a certain manner that was not legal or ethical. And all of it came back to me. All of it came back to me. And he determined that it came back to me instead of him. So I gave him basically what was a finder's fee, for having returned it. It's like, thank you. You just bought about 2 years, along with my Social Security. I'm old enough to get Social Security. It's basically given me 2 more years of unencumbered living, on top of the potential for my investments to do well, which they haven't done to date. But, So there's that story, and so you can be a mark, but you can also be generous and maybe sometimes have it come back, in a really nice way.
Absolutely.
That's a good story. You got to admit.
I'll stop calling you Mark.
Okay, call me benefactor.
Benefactor.
I can remember 15, maybe even 18 years ago saying, wow, look at how much Apple stock has gone up. It's so expensive now.
I know. We had those GameStop discussions about a month and a half ago. God damn, I sort of understood that the Reddit community and the entire new generation of investors was there. AMC stock, the movie chain,
Yeah.
because of COVID and being truncated, all their operations were truncated. They went down to almost, I think they were just under 5, and because of the Reddit influence and the new generation of investor influence that is meant to squeeze shorts, fucking $70, and I mean it did drop back down to $50, but for God's sake, I missed GameStop, I missed AMC, and I'm sitting right now on Coinbase, which is I don't know if you know Coinbase, but they listed, and their cryptocurrency, they're a cryptocurrency trading platform,
right?
And so anyway, I just keep missing by that much.
You'll strike gold
eventually. If I don't run out of capital, missing.
You'll strike gold, or your name's not Ben Factor.
Ben Factor. That's right. Well, thank you, sir.
I keep getting like 6 or 7. I keep getting like 6 or 7 phone calls every day these days, trying to rope me into all these quick get rich schemes.
Yeah, but you never answer the phone.
No,
I answer them all the time. I'm like, will you fuck off? I have answered the call to these cunts fucking every time.
Send them straight to voicemail if they don't leave a voice.
I answer the phone to see who it is, and then once I got a phone call, right, and it was my own fucking number.
Oh yeah, well that happens too. You have to understand that as soon as you give them a live voice, you become a more active prospect for it. You have to let everything go to voicemail, and if they don't,
I can't, because it could be that one phone call that's from hospital that's like an unknown number.
Don't your hospitals come from exchanges? That you're familiar
but they're
with?
unknown numbers, so it could be anything.
Okay, you have a point, and I understand. I'll shut up.
Yeah, George, that one hurts there, that AMC, because 75 grand invested would have made
right.
1 million.
And I had plenty more than 75K to invest, but I just, it's like, fuck, I keep going. I run it over in my mind. I remember Dogecoin. I remember when Dogecoin was, 1/1000th of a penny, and I go, I could put $1,000 on that. What is it going to hurt? I've got that. Nah, I'm not going to do that. And then
why would you though? I mean, why would you ever expect that to be?
A lot of people have lost a lot of money on Dogecoin because of Elon.
Yeah.
Elon keeps busting that price up a little bit, and then it crashes.
I mean, it's sour grapes to a degree. I have to admit, there's sour grapes philosophy going on there. That's not healthy.
For this was actually close to my expertise, and I never got in it. So believe me, I know your feeling. But would you really want to be investing in something whose value can go up or down 20% based on a tweet from Elon Musk?
Yeah, but if you got out for 75 grand at the 750,000, you'd be so happy.
You just pull your capital. You pull. Once you pull your original investment out, you're playing with what they call house money, and so it doesn't matter.
Do you know what my biggest problem is?
You have to have that
investing.
original.
Or pull out 25% to cover it plus a little bonus. And
my biggest
problem with investments is the speed of which you can't place your bids. You can't,
Right. Well,
you can't sell your stuff instantly as soon as you think it's right.
Well, the trading platforms now are all high speed. Just about you can get
Yeah,
pretty
but it's
close
not
to
instant, is it? I mean, I was
Well,
using
it's not
a
dial-up
trading
anymore,
app,
which is good.
and it took 7 hours to sell my stock.
No, that's not right. Something's wrong there. Something's not correct there. Then
Right.
you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong.
I came out of that. I was in there for about a month, and I came out of it like, this is ridiculous. This is rubbish.
Something's not right there. But my problem that aggravates me so much is that I absolutely fell in love with internet technology in somewhere around between 1990 and 1991, and I've kept watching every single aspect of the information revolution, and I've kept watching every huge success story occur, and I've watched my thought processes, and each time I go, oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That might work. No. It's like, God
Problem is,
damn it.
if you hear of someone's success on something, it's too
okay.
late.
I got a pretty good spirit about it all. I mean, like I've told you guys so many times. I mean, my life could be so incredibly much worse than it is. That I'm always grateful.
But Biscuit, it's not too late. That's what Steve was saying about Apple.
Usually it is though. If someone's bought in really low, and that product's then gone really high, and then you're putting money in at a high point, it might go a little bit higher, but it's not going to go as big as what they got made from it, is it?
If you look at Apple, for example, that stock has gone up and up and up and up, and that company has made more and more profit every year. So,
yeah.
So there are sure wins, but how big are those wins with Apple?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the stock. I'm not an expert on the stock, but I know it's gone up and split and gone up and split.
Is it comparable to just like a bit better than leaving your money in the bank?
Oh no!
No.
Let me see. Let's see. Apple stock last 10 years.
I did 20.
Okay.
Let's see what we got here. Year to date.
10-year price chart. It's gone up by a factor of almost 14.
So 14 times.
So 1,400%.
Yeah.
That's better than putting.
So if you put 100 in, you'd get 1,400 out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the all-time high stock closing price for Apple was $143.16 just in this past January, which just goes to show its highest.
That's with splits. That's got to be with splits. Has to be. There's no way.
There have been splits.
Out. Yeah. There's no way it topped out at 143.
Well, that was the closing price on January 26, 2021.
Right. I understand what you're saying, though. But yeah, you have to go back and look at the splits. It split. It was. I mean, I'm not sure how to do that quickly for us, but I know that it split. There's absolutely.
I can tell you. Apple's third split was 2005. Fourth split was 2014, and the fifth split took place on August 31st last year. That was a 4-for-1 split.
Wow, man. 4 for 1.
Is that so that there's a lower barrier to entry for a stock?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. It makes it more available to the average investor.
Yeah, I mean, as recently as 2015, it was in the $40 to $50, $28 to $30. So I mean,
that was closer to the time it split. What, 4-for-1 or 5-for-1 last dance?
If I'm reading this correctly, the split that was 4-for-1 was the one last year.
Okay.
The one in 2014 was a 7-for-1 split.
Christ.
Wow.
Woo! Man.
So basically, the like timed the amount of stocks you had by 7.
Yeah, Biscuit Vapes, you're a relatively young man, and the amount of time that you spend examining and appreciating online providers and online, phenomenon gives you a little bit of an advantage over some persons who are more, nose to the grindstone all the time people. And, I forget if you said that you had invested much at all. I think you did say that you had invested some.
Most I've invested was about 30 quid.
Yeah, well,
It was very small.
Not going to get you a retirement.
No, I mean, I was just testing.
Unless you invest in Apple.
Yeah, well.
But the way I see it is, heck it, I'm not going to bother with the trading thing. I'm just going to try and put money in the bank and accumulate it naturally.
Right. Well, and unless something drastically different occurs in your life, you have almost a guaranteed, a guaranteed income that's livable, for the rest of your life.
Well, hopefully in the next 2 years, I'll be in a situation where I can get a decent paying job and be in a fit enough state to do it.
Right. Well, yeah, there's no sacrifice. There's no substitute for, good health. And I mean,
That's it.
But I don't know how does, Great Britain, analyze your state of either being hampered and, disabled, disadvantaged, as opposed to
being honest. I have to embellish it a little.
Don't be honest.
I have to be completely
support yourself.
I have to tell them the worst that I am.
Yeah.
Like on my worst day, I'd have to instead of telling them how I am some days, I can be fine some days, and then others I might not be able to get out of bed for a whole 3-4 days, and
it's not consistent.
I'd have to tell them that it's the whole time, if you know what I mean.
In my more neurological, my neurological terminology of erraticness, I talk about erratic behavior, and when one doesn't have consistently healthy and dependably, integrated behavior, you can't. You have to give them that message, Biscuit Vapes, or you'll get caught out in the fucking street. You don't want that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I won't get caught out on the street. I'll just have to be looking for a job that I couldn't possibly sustain.
And then I don't know what happens. I've seen some people out there in the land of YouTube, that are just not under any kind of support, state support umbrella. And I mean, what would you call it? In Great Britain, you don't call it state support. What do you call it?
We call it just benefits.
Benefits, benefits support. And they're what's the right word? They're almost stricken. They're panicked. They're in semi-hysterical state, because they don't know what's happening to them, and they don't.
I knew once of a guy that had no legs whatsoever. They were chopped off above the knee, and also he had no hands. And the government decided that he was fit for work.
Fuck's sake, man! That's
because he could dress himself, he could make his own meals, and basically he could do some things. Basically,
no legs, no hands. Fuck's sake, man!
Now he's an airline pilot.
Yeah.
It's messed up. If you don't embellish the truth a little bit, then
a key those specialists.
I'm gonna take a short.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Since Smokesteve's back, you go ahead.
We're back.
Yes, sir. just in time. That last dance in his shorty shorts.
Yeah, he had nice shorts.
Yeah.
I'm not showing you my shorty shorts. I'll stop that cam before I get up. Well,
Yeah.
fat boy Stifer. Woo! Yeah.
So next week I'll be on my annual float trip. So
You're out.
Low
Hey,
trip.
well,
Slow.
seeing all my friends.
Is it heavy this month?
My period?
I'm being a dick. Don't worry.
Hey, are you guys gonna? I remember last year was a big disaster with the masks. This year,
Right. This year, well, my son's got his first vaccine. And I'm going to tell him,
no kidding, huh, Junior?
Yeah. I'm going to tell him, if he wants to wear it on the bus, because he's real cautious about it.
Did
And
he
I'm
get a
like,
reaction?
No, not at all. Nothing. It was
Well, we've just approved. Our country's just approved 12 to 16-year-olds for Pfizer.
He's 12. So he's got his.
I'm gonna have to feed the beggar boy. I'll be back in a second. He's over here. He's been begging on me for about 10 minutes.
Leave that cam on so we can see those shorts.
No way. No way. I'm embarrassed at this
Give
point.
us this show like last
I'm
dance.
way too heavy.
It's all right. It's all right.
So
I might be getting a new addition to the family next week.
Oh, what you getting?
Another birdie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of my old next door neighbor is one of his friends have acquired a bird from his neighbor, and basically they can't handle it. So
what is it?
Dude, get a goshawk to take care of that bitchy ass bird that you have now.
I've got a little teensy tiny budgerigar coming.
A budgie? Well, that thing's gonna get
like what we call parakeet, right?
Yeah.
Is it blue or green or yellow?
Blue.
I had many blue ones when I was a kid.
It's the really tiny ones.
In pain with this caged bird talk.
No, it's fine. I don't care. They're going to be in somebody's cage. I'm not going to save the world by one bird at a time,
Right.
It's like dogs at the pet store. People say, don't buy them. Well, they're fucking there, so maybe help the damn things out or something, Like, you got to, the birds are there. They're living things. So.
I trained my budgies, as you call them. But they were...
You don't have budgies.
Well, it said budgie / parakeet on the food, at least.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I was... Like, I got my first one when I was probably like 9 or 10.
For actual reference, the actual dictionary term for a parakeet is a long-tailed parrot.
Oh,
okay.
That sounds way awesomer than, I got a parakeet for $12 at the store.
Yeah, down in Florida, every evening they'd all come in and land on the wires. They're wild. So cool to see. I think those might have been monk parakeets. Thank you. There she wants to show you.
Yeah. Her arm is always so elegant, I must say.
That was Sammy Cat.
Oh, was it?
Yep, not my wife.
Well, it was still her arm.
And apparently budgerigar in Australia means small bird meat.
Of course. I mean, for Australia, that's not that strange of a word. I mean, they have some whack job names down there, but budgie, it's cute. It works,
Budgie.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to change the subject, but I want to go through what happened tonight. So we're supposed to go out we go out this couple a lot, we haven't since COVID.
You couple up? Yeah,
well, this buddy that I've been friends with him since he lived behind me since I was 12 and we skated together. So he was a little bit younger than me, but it didn't matter because he was so good at skating that my friends totally embraced him and
better skater than you.
Oh my God. Yeah. At street skating, he didn't skate ramp much. Anyway, we were going to go out tonight. We haven't seen them in a long time. And we're going to go out to this place that it's a Mexican restaurant. They have a nice patio. We go there a lot. And then, when it got closer, my wife was like, that's probably going to be super crowded because sometimes even before COVID, it was like the hot spot, And I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that,
No
And this
reservations? Come on, guys.
No, like a patio type deal. So, and we had another friend that was going to meet us there too. And I talked to him about it, and he works at Whole Foods, and he just got off, and he's got to work super early in the morning. He totally pussed out. And at first I was like, because we were like, man, let's bail on that, because nobody's going to want to sit around for like an hour waiting for a table. So I was like, let's just come over here. You guys can hang out here. We'll get something going. And he was like totally stoked about it. And then he just bailed last minute. So we canceled our plans. But for an hour, right when you started, we thought we were going to have a bunch of people come over to our house. And we were just going crazy, cleaning and trying to gussy up the place. And then right before I got on here tonight, it was like the whole plans fell through.
Damn. What a letdown.
But I was going to come on here because we were just going to get dressed and go to this restaurant. And then right before I came on, we changed the plans and they were all going to come over here. And then so I crammed trying to clean up the joint, and then it all fell through. But I got to see you guys, so
that's good. I mean,
cheers for that.
It sounds like is this going to be adults only for the out?
Yeah, my son is over at my mom's house, so that doesn't happen very often.
You guys are going to drink margaritas,
right?
Beers,
Tacos,
right?
But the whole thing, I don't want to, because right now I don't know what it's like where you guys all live.
No masks. They're done here.
It's the masks are gone, and every restaurant is like seriously, like it's a parade, a mile long, backed up on the roads, trying to get to any of these restaurants right now.
We don't go to restaurants really, anyways, but because of the whole thing, it just shut. I don't know, but now you're right. You can't get in.
Have you been to a restaurant since COVID?
Not about a year and a half.
Yeah, me neither. This was going to be our first experience, actually enjoying an establishment.
Now I have.
That's good.
Here where
Does
I live.
McDonald's count as a restaurant?
No.
Me and my daughter went and sat outside McDonald's 3 days ago and had a Happy Meal each.
That's all you had was one Happy Meal?
Just one Happy Meal each, yeah.
Good man.
That's
nice.
why I've lost weight, because I've been eating Happy Meals for the last 4 weeks.
I think you might be onto something. A new crave.
Just eat your kids' meals.
Yeah.
You could follow Jared's, example, but just don't go pedo.
Right.
On the Subway Jared. You remember what happened with Subway Jared?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yes.
Do
I don't think Biscuit knows him.
Yeah, he's sort of got that deer in the headlights look.
Yeah, no idea. I heard
Jared
do not associate me with pedophiles.
Yeah. Well,
Jared Fogle.
He was this kid with a pear-shaped body that ate supposedly Subways and walked there every day or something.
Right, only Subway veggies.
Yeah,
only Subway veggies, and he became Subway's international or national spokesperson. And about 10 years into the relationship, he became completely corrupt and disgusting and pedo.
He spent all his money to get
kids.
Let's just say younger females.
He could have wound up on. He should have been on Catch a Predator. He was the perfect candidate. Awkward, overweight, glasses.
He was such a punch.
In fact, there was some guys on to Catch a Predator that actually looked like him.
Right.
Had it all.
Is he? He's been in jail, right? I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, you can you imagine how much he got the shit beat out of him?
Oh, there's got to be a lot of 12-inch jokes going on there in the jail.
I bet they are. I bet they show him too.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor guy. I mean, not poor guy.
Dance, you were going into something. What was it? We interrupted you, Last Dance.
No, Biscuit Vapes interrupted him with his Happy Meal talk.
I've already forgotten what. We're talking about restaurants. So
yeah,
I just came. I live in the Maryland area near Baltimore, and I just came back from Chicago visiting my sister. Now in Chicago, in the northern suburbs, it was just like you said, Aphid Lip. Trying to get into a restaurant, they're just jammed. It doesn't matter, even like on a Tuesday night.
Exactly.
But here where I live, there's no, they're not really any more crowded than they were before COVID.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Now, but we've been open more or less, for a longer time.
Like a couple months, because it's a couple weeks here.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple, maybe
Couple of
1
months
month,
here.
maybe
Couple
almost
months
2
here.
months.
Now, right away, Last Dance, after like where I am now, say a week after the full opening, was yours at that time crazier than it is now? Was
I
there
don't
ever
know.
a surge?
Because I didn't go because I wasn't vaccinated yet.
Right.
But when I got vaccinated, I went, and
You went out and sat in a restaurant and ate?
absolutely.
Yeah, I
That
haven't
was
done that yet.
the point of getting vaccinated.
Oh,
Go
I
back to-
agree. I agree. I don't. It just at the, I'm married and have a kid. And it just hasn't happened yet.
Well, all right. So point of clarification. Now, I've had my first shot. Now, my second one's this Wednesday.
Oh.
So I'm pretty well good to go, right? So I don't need to be masking up in stores, or do I?
I say no. You don't need to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. All right.
Probably not.
I've been shamed. My buddy who's been double vaxxed was like, dude, you're not really there yet, like me.
He was guilting you.
Yeah, but that's what we do. It's pretty-
They say you don't have full protection till like 2 weeks after your second vax.
right. But the Johnson & Johnson after 2 weeks is a lower percentage of protection than one shot of the Pfizer.
I think
Exactly.
So
I had the Johnson & Johnson.
yeah, you just went in and
No
got
blood
some
clot.
Yeah.
No blood
saline solution.
Extra strong saline solution.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it
So,
fucked
you
you
know,
up, didn't it, George?
No, it didn't.
No, it
I
didn't.
told you
Okay.
guys before. What if anything fucked me? It was my heavy drinking. That's
Right.
fucking.
I have had
My liver and my
two of the
pancreas.
AstraZeneca, which are now the safest jab compared to,
Yeah, but
compared to
you,
Pfizer.
you biscuit babes, you were down and out.
Cartoon show. AstraZeneca.
I still protest I had a bad case of the flu.
Yeah, you may have had something else.
It was
Yeah.
a coincidental thing. I feel
Dude,
fantastically
Do you
fine
have
now.
the ability to take a day off, on the day of your shot or the day after, Smokesteve? Because you may want to do that just in case.
No, I would. My boss got it and said that she
Which
got
one?
nothing.
Which shot did you get?
So, like, I got to be Pfizer, the only
Yeah,
one I would have gotten, dude.
Right.
None of the other stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
None of that
Yeah, I
garbage.
didn't feel shit, to be honest with you. I mean, the next day I kind of felt, the best way I could describe it is I felt like I had a little bit of a hangover. Sometimes you wake up the next day and you're like, man, did I drink that much? Because I think I'm a little bit hungover.
Mhm.
That's the feeling I had all day. It
So
was
that
like
was after your second or first?
the second. The first one I didn't feel shit.
That's
I
what
have-
I've heard.
The
is-
second one, it was like, like sometimes you have a hangover and you're like, I knew I was gonna feel like this. I knew it. I knew
Oh,
at
yeah.
sundown. I was
Oh
gonna feel like this.
yeah, you're right about that.
But this is like holy shit, and you start like counting the beers in your head. How many did I have? How much did I smoke? That's the kind of hangover it was. It was like that.
A quick aside: the college course from hell.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't you go when Smokesteve's wife went and got her first vaccine?
What do you mean, together?
Well, just like a similar time, like.
No, hell no. We don't do shit together, really. Besides,
Come on, you guys
besides
are
live
married, aren't you?
together.
Oh.
Who you
Just made
trying
you-
to light up, Evelyn?
She probably made you that drink, and it was just Sammy Cat that
Either
delivered it.
her or Sammy.
She's-
They probably collaborated because it is
Yeah,
delicious.
collaboration all the way. I could tell.
She was months ahead of me, bro. She was like, I'm all in. I'm
Oh.
going for it. And I was out here questioning everything. Like, like, what the fuck? I don't know if I'm going to get it.
I agree, Smokesteve's wife. That was harsh. Power to the women, I say, Smokesteve's
Oh,
wife.
she knows. She knows I'm kidding.
Amen.
All I'm doing is explaining the fact that she was more all in about it, and
Right.
I was questioning it, and there was no way we were even on the same wavelength, because
Right.
what spurred me to get it in the end was when they started to say, like, okay, we're going to do like no masks required here, and frankly, I've been in stores and I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're on top of each other here. Like,
Right.
nobody pays attention to anything anymore. So, I was like, I had to do it. It was a no-brainer. You have to. I mean, whatever. Hey, I don't want to say you have to because I know there's people who don't agree with us on the vax front. In fact,
cheers to you girls holding down the fort over there at Smokesteve's house.
Right. Yeah, they do great.
They're
They do
the
great.
best.
They're great.
The best.
They're awesome. Cool. Thank you, Aphid.
I'm sure that my ex-wife / girlfriend would love them.
Right. They're awesome. They're holding down the fort.
I can tell you, they use those robot, arms to deliver drinks to you and everything.
Exactly.
Did you guys have what'd you do for dinner tonight? You guys all do some kind of big dinner?
No, I made 4 burgers and ate one and put the other 3.
The West.
Yeah.
I put the West away.
Yeah.
And then I hunted wabbits.
In a warming zone.
Rascally wabbit.
I think they were good. I might have overdone them slightly.
Yeah, after I get off of here, which is probably gonna be pretty soon, I'm gonna go get some ribeyes because I was like, well, what are we gonna do now? We had these plans to go out to dinner. So,
all you eat is ribeyes every time. You're like, more ribeyes.
Man, there's this Walmart grocery store, and they have these things called cowboy ribeyes, and they're like this fucking thick. I'm telling you, dude.
What is that? 20 minutes easy per side, maybe more.
What, how much?
15, 20?
No, like 7, 8.
Oh wow, they
on a hot fire. Oh yeah.
Nice.
And they're not that. I mean, I'm totally exaggerating. they're not anywhere close to that. I mean, come on. Okay. I thought you knew, but excuse me, pardon me, girls. But no, that and some asparagus and some baked potatoes. It's gonna be nice.
Wow, that sounds epic.
Gonna have a fire. We might even get in that pool, but again.
What? You have a pool again?
And you don't do
Me and Smokesteve both got like the same identical.
Oh yeah, you got the above grounds. Cool.
They're terrible. They're a joke.
No, they ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you, dude. This is the first summer you've had it, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man. When it's super hot outside, and you get in there, with a even your wife or a buddy, or just get something that floats and pass out on there on a Sunday afternoon. I'm telling you, dude. Like you cut your grass and jump in that pool, hop on a floaty, and then just
remember what I told you about
everything.
Keeping the pool really cold. If you attach, I'm sure you know how to use PVC pipe, Smokesteve, on your outlet where the pool's being recirculated by that cheesy little pump. You go ahead and you fabricate a little PVC apparatus where the water is being shot into the air, and you run it at night, but not in the day. And if you run it at night, it'll pick up the night air temperature, and it'll get your pool down to into the high 70s instead of and low 80s instead of a friggin' pool that's at 95 degrees.
But here in Massachusetts, that's not a concern. They're never going to get above 73.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I never have hot water.
I never even thought about that.
My pool's totally in the shade, so I have no hot water at all.
Same thing. Okay.
If anything, I want it to be warmer because it's like
I had one client. I have this really strong memory when I was running my pool service business of this one customer, and they were just miserable, with their pool, because it was literally in the 95-degree area, and you put your hand into it, it's like getting into a warm bathtub. And I showed them the technique, and I think I even fabricated the PVC apparatus that I told you about. And about a week later, they were just ecstatic. They were hopping into this pool that was 80 degrees instead of 95 degrees. And anyway, that's enough of that story. That's just stupid tradesman talk.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying, George, because after June in Florida, the Gulf is almost unswimmable. It's in the high 80s. That's the ocean. So I can't imagine what pools must be like, man. Well, Jesus.
No, the Gulf's the Gulf. The Atlantic Ocean's the ocean. I'm just being a dick. Don't worry.
No, I know what you mean, but
it comes almost naturally to me,
On my dad's side, nobody goes in the water in midsummer, July, whether it be pool or anything. So
don't you get upwellings a lot? I mean, or are you so far north that upwellings aren't something that you're familiar with?
no, we don't get that.
We get, what happens is when you have a west wind, it blows the warm, Gulf Stream water out, and then the deeper water from the Atlantic comes in on the east coast of Florida. And, in the middle of the summer, sometimes we'll get into 80-degree water.
Wow.
And it's pretty cool when that happens. But you are right in general. It's too warm in the summer. But sometimes these upwellings occur, and they're really cool when they occur. It's like, whoa, cold water in the middle of the summer. This is great.
That actually is caused by when those UFOs, space aliens, are moving their ships from the bottom where they store them to the top.
I don't know about cold water in the summer, but in the height of winter when it's freezing, I can just imagine just getting into a boiling hot spring. That'd be like the best feeling ever.
Hey, Steve, there's somebody backstage trying to get your attention.
Oh, there is? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out, though.
You're welcome.
All right, then we will go
How
ahead.
are you seeing the backstage? Is it because you're signed in? Because
No, it's because he just keeps talking.
Hello, Mr. Rizzo.
Yeah. Hi there, Stephen.
Oh, hey, you go.
By the way, there, I only came to ask you guys advice, right? Now,
Okay,
I
here to
could have
help.
had, listen to it, it's really a serious point. I could have had the vaccination a few months ago because I'm like old, Wait, not old, not as old as Safer.
Wait. Jimmy, clarify, which vaccination were you offered? Astra or Pfizer?
I'm not really sure, but it could have been the Pfizer, right? But it could have
Ooh.
been brought out a few months ago, and anyways.
Those are good drugs, bro. Those are good drugs.
But I refused it. And now, since I can't get down, because I've got sciatic arthritis and I can't get up very well and I can't walk, and I see how am I supposed to get down there to get the vaccine? So anyway, the doctor proposed for the nurse to come to your house, which is coming on Monday, to get a vaccination.
Right.
Right? She's coming on Monday to give me the vaccination.
Okay, that's good, I think.
Yeah, I think it's good. And, okay then. Right, here we go. This is my point. I'm
Jimmy,
not all this.
Jimmy, do you regret turning it down initially?
In a way, I do, but I do listen to the news and people who are ramming this down your throat that it's a good idea to get the vaccination, right? I've looked at all the ins and outs of it, and I'm still. And I rang my brother today, right? I said, Danny, I could have the vaccination a few months ago, and the nurses coming on Monday to give me the vaccination. You know what he said? What I think as well. Wait for a few months there, Jimmy, and wait until it affects other people. But unfortunately, there's too many people getting dragged in to the yes. You've got to have the vaccination. Listen, everybody's got their own mind and thought processes. If you don't believe in that vaccination, and tell me how they can bring out a vaccination within a few months, when it generally takes a decade to bring out a real one.
Well,
now,
firstly, if I can comment on that, there has been a fair amount of evidence that they did think that there was a possibility of a coronavirus pandemic before this pandemic started. There were laboratories that were working on this somewhat of that's what at least they tell us. See, now this is the fucked up thing. You can't tell.
This is what they tell us, Stephen, right?
I understand that, Jimmy. I understand that, James.
Is it the truth? I do listen to conspiracies, right? I think that's absolutely silly. Listen to the real things and what real doctors are saying on the internet. Don't listen to your
Wait, real doctors? Jimmy, hold on. You said real doctors, but you didn't end it at real doctors. You ended it with real doctors
on the internet.
I will say something about that. Don't you watch the news programs in the USA? Are they real? No, they're not. They're just going along with everything and saying it's good for you because they're just agreeing with everybody who's agree. By the way, if you've had the vaccination, right? Listen, right? If, for instance, if you've had the vaccination in a few months' time, when it comes out, maybe that there's something wrong with it, and some people are dying with it, and there's illnesses.
It's
Right.
possible.
But it's
It
not
could
just
happen.
possible; it is
It could
actually
happen.
happening. But
Yeah,
Could
it
happen.
is.
people are dying with blood clots, but it could
And
be
this
just
is why-
correlation.
This is why I want to wait to see what happens to the guinea pigs who are getting the vaccination now, and that's why I haven't had it more.
Being
Uh-oh.
being a fellow
Uh-oh.
larger person,
I'm
Jimmy,
going.
though, and you being older than I am, I would suggest it be in your best interest because you would be a higher
Yeah,
risk
but-
if you got it to be.
Yeah, but why? Why am I a higher risk? Because I'm older
because
than you.
you're overweight and you're over
Yeah,
60. I'm
okay then.
guessing.
Okay, then. I'm 19 and a half stone, right? So why should I be a higher risk because I'm older than you? Haven't you not been listening? Or
I've had
maybe
my
watching YouTube?
vaccination because
Well-
I'm overweight and I've got asthma.
Well, I haven't. And by the way, I'm on biologicals. You know what biologicals are? Biological needles.
Is that
Well,
sort of like
only
mental?
take them. You know,
Something like mental, I think. Yes, something like mental.
no,
Biologicals.
Mr. Safer. Biological needles. If you look it up on YouTube, I've got sciatic arthritis, okay? And the only way that can cure the sciatica on my arms and things is injecting me with biologicals, okay? And that helps me a lot. Understand what I'm saying. Go on YouTube and look it up. By the way, there, Mr. Safer, don't try to make me out like some sort of comical alcoholic idiot.
I'm going to do
Because
just
that's what you're
that.
trying to do.
I'm
You know.
doing it. I'm doing it.
Okay
indeed.
then. Okay then. You
Okay.
do it while I sit here and be quiet.
Okay, I'll do
Good.
it.
No. All right, cool. That was great to hear from you, Jimmy. You were a wonderful
Ah,
guest.
Steven.
All right.
Okay.
Jimmy. Yeah.
You know, I got enough of my own neurological problems to listen to his. Being done hysterically.
But what he's saying
They're not
is not.
hysterical. They're hysteria driven, and some of my shit's hysteria driven. So, Jimmy, I'm not being a complete dick to you, but I'm being a partial dick to you.
That is the thinking, though. There is a.
Yeah.
If you're afraid that the vaccine is unsafe, then you do want to wait for everyone else to
It's
get a year or so of experience with it before
it's
you
a valid viewpoint. It's a
dive
valid
in.
viewpoint.
But you're also taking a risk that you will contract COVID. So
All right, but when you're delivering it with that level of hysteria, it becomes
when you're delivering it like that,
Problematic,
it's
yeah.
very entertaining.
yeah. Well, I tried to make it fun, but he didn't
Jimmy.
like. He didn't.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that.
it's
Like Jimmy.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
you'd
he's
have
fine.
more of an argument in basis if it was a drug that was affecting, like your chemical imbalances in your system. But all it's doing is giving your immune system something to see and learn from. That's all it's doing.
If you want to see what the downside could be, look at all the failed vaccines, and there have been not every vaccine effort is successful. Some of them make things worse. Some vaccines have made people more susceptible to the virus that they're trying to vaccinate against. So
I'm not familiar with those examples, please.
I don't know them off the top of my head, but in my reading, we've come across.
In the words of
In
some
your
people,
reading.
in the words of
Yes,
some
in my
people on the
reading.
internet, citation needed.
Understood. You're correct. I don't have it offhand, but
Yes.
When you're reading The Economist at 1 a.m., like blurry-eyed after a
all
few
right,
bourbons.
smart ass. I'm going to find that link and get it to you. If not today, then soon enough.
Bring it to me.
Or I'll forget, and it won't bother me that I forgot because I forgot.
Exactly.
I can understand where they're coming from with the Pfizer because that's completely different to the dead virus. That's just a bit of information for the your immune system to see.
Spike proteins.
That's it. Yeah, it's just giving some information to your immune system. That's all it's doing.
Yeah, and the reason they tell you to drink a ton of water is because they want you to pee a lot to get rid of it. Because once your immune system gets going, your body evacuates whatever else is remaining. But if you turn around and drink like 15 beers or whatever, like most people do, they're like, we got vaccinated, and then they drink a ton. And it's like, yeah, that will fuck you up because you're trying to then get rid of alcohol.
Well,
and
it's not allowing your liver or your kidney. Is it liver or kidneys? It's not, whichever one it is.
Everything's
It's not letting it work properly, is it?
Exactly. But I did the same thing. I got my first one, and I drank a bunch, and I felt a little slow the next day. But I tell you, the night of, I had this real buzz, man. I was like buzzed, like I did a line from the old days. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't believe it. It was so weird. But that wore off.
Sure, it weren't just a special strain of cannabis you were smoking.
No. Right after, when I got in the vehicle, I like put on the tunes, and it was like Metallica for the ride home, and I was like, I don't know, I had this real energy, this almost like mild adrenaline rush for the whole evening. It was crazy.
Having a nice side chat with the old Jimmy boy.
All right, guys, I gotta go pee so bad. I can't wait any longer.
You coming back?
No, probably not, and I won't be here for 2 weeks. So,
Well, tell us about your piss. Yeah, come on, back
All right,
next
well-
week. Tell us about it.
I'll see you
All right,
guys.
guys, we'll talk shit about it next week.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Hey, take care, man.
See you in a
Hey,
fortnight.
see you guys.
All right.
Enjoy.
Later, brother. Oh, that was good. He was good. Sorry, Jimmy. Yeah, I mean, the show goes in its own direction, so we had you on, and no offense, everything's good. I mean, should I bring him back? Is that what you got? Consensus? You guys want to weigh in?
No,
Doesn't bother me.
No,
All right.
it's all good.
I mean, what biscuit? You okay with it?
I'm okay with it not
okay.
being.
I'm not voting.
I'm okay with him not on.
Okay, I'll behave.
No, whoa, I said no. I said no.
You said no. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
I says I'm okay with him not coming back on.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, no. So, Jimmy, you're good, man. It's all good. But it's we try not to control the conversation, Jimmy, with any like forceful, dictation towards other people. But certainly, you're welcome to come back, and we'll feature you for
in all
short period of time.
In all due respect, you have your own show, Jimmy. You have plenty of, austerity and what's the right word? Authority within your own realm. So you enjoy your realm, and we'll have our show. Thank you, sir.
But I know it's my show, Jimmy. I know. I see your latest comment there. I had already decided no. I was more or less seeing if the other guys wanted to change my mind to go in the yes direction, but they as well said no. So no offense, Jimmy. You're a great guy, and we'll see you next time around. So what do we have here? That's life, but not as we know it.
Yeah, he's got some point. I mean, there's some allies there with the don't take the vaccine crew, and I mean, I understand the viewpoint. It's acceptable viewpoint, but when it's jammed down your
in my
throat,
opinion, I'm not advising anyone to take it. I'm just saying that
when you're excoriated,
in my opinion,
it's
safer than the alternative for people in my situation that are either older or like width ways challenged.
The whole public health thing has definitely gotten to people.
I swear to God.
If you search like which vaccine to get, which is the best, you'll get 100 answers that say basically they're all good. Take whatever you're offered. They're not going to try to, like, the information that we all want is not readily available. I think that people are sleuths now with the internet. You can be a armchair quarterback with Google and get freaked out with the shit you might find. So I think that's happened on a grand scale. And the governments have taken this public health agenda where they just try to get the mass amount of people vaccinated and give them very low amount of facts about anything, that they don't want to freak anyone out. I think that's pissing people off personally. I mean, I think it's obvious.
It is absolutely. You know, I don't know if you're watching or been following this this trove of emails that were FOIA'd of Anthony Fauci. But I mean, there's no one smoking gun email, but it basically shows how much of the effort in messaging is carefully tailored so that things that might be negative or might deter people from doing something, that those are suppressed, and there's a certain amount of manipulation going on to get people to act in a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what public health initiatives do. They try to just do everything for the general public. It's
part of it was actually just to, like, for example, in the beginning when they said, "Don't wear masks; they don't work."
That was the stupidest thing ever.
Well,
you could find them on the shelf at Home Depot.
Right. And what they really meant was don't buy masks. We want them for first responders and doctors. Yeah. But they didn't say that because if they said the truth, people might have gone out and bought them for themselves. But if you lie,
I think
people aren't going to trust
in reality, I think if they'd told the truth and said we're going to ban sale of masks for civilians, then that would have been much better.
Didn't make any sense that you could go into the Home Depot. There were N95 masks on the shelves, tons of them, and supposedly the healthcare workers couldn't get the same masks, which were right there, literally a mile and a half from I know of a COVID hospital that a Home Depot had masks. It didn't make any sense.
The Home Depot might have had masks, but would they have had enough for the several thousand staff at the at the hospital?
I bought 60 masks at that time, and that lasted me a very long time because you could get two.
I mean, it's okay for like a few single people, but what about for like a massive staff at a hospital? I don't know. They didn't have the numbers, did they, for the staff?
Probably not. Probably not.
My point is, if you want to be trusted all the time, you have to be honest all the time. And
but if you be honest all the time, then you're gonna spark a lot of hysteria.
Then you won't be trusted.
Probably their thinking, isn't it?
Yep. But then people won't trust you when you
exactly.
When you
I agree.
Yeah.
But they're thinking the people can't handle the truth.
They might be right, but for whatever it's worth, you need to be honest and mitigate whatever problems occur based on that. Unless you only want to be trusted that one time, and then after that, you just burn down the your organization.
Have a government of any sort that tells the truth the whole time?
Well, this is the Center for Disease Control. That's a part of the government. That these are not politicians. These are professionals. They're supposed to be straight shooters, and they really weren't.
Yeah.
And even to this day, they're giving out misinformation regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, conflicting dictates.
Right, that's the problem. But I think they're getting to the point now where people are. It's evening out. Right, that's the right word, I think. But the whole thing seems to be getting in control, right?
Seems to be.
Numbers are down.
Yeah.
Our numbers are actually rising. I think they went from under 1,000 to over 5,000 cases a day.
Well, ours have been.
Wait, 5,000 a day that now over there?
Yeah.
Oh no, you guys are going in the wrong direction. Thanks, life, but that's not as we know it. But Jimmy probably wasn't having a go at me. He's just being Jimmy. He's fine. He's good. Jimmy, you were on, and you know, being on camera isn't everything. We need people in the chat. You could be a chat guy. Sorry, I'm a dick.
Fuck off, clown. Shit, I
mean,
fuck off.
It's not like we have 13 viewers. We have 13 viewers.
I know.
Do we count as viewers or 12 now? We're dropping as I talk.
I have a feeling. I mean, you know.
I mean, we probably have people who left their computer on.
I've got my YouTube account sitting in a paused YouTube.
Right. I think there's 2 viewers upstairs in this house, so it's like we literally are talking to nobody here, Jimmy. So
I know
we're not broadcasting to the world here, guy.
This might as well be a private messaging video.
Own show.
Practically,
he's been broadcasting his own show for somewhere close to 20 years, and he wants to come here, try to totally control this, dialogue, this, this conversation, and then he acts like this on the sidebar when he gets, taken off. So, just you have to stop it. Jimmy, did you understand it? Did you see the earlier part of the show where I told people that I had a friggin', bone spur in my cervical spinal, vertebrae, and that I had a torn ligament in my, elbow, the extensor ligament of my triceps? Do you not understand that other people have problems? They don't want to listen to your shit. Do you understand that, Jimmy? At all?
I don't think he does, bro.
No, he doesn't, and that's why I'm being such a dick. I'm sorry, guys, but God damn it. And I'm also I've finished the pint of I switched from vodka to bourbon, by the way.
Ooh. 10 high or something better?
Nah, Evan Williams, the cheap stuff. The cheap stuff.
But it has a name. It's not like 5 o'clock bourbon.
5 o'clock bourbon.
That's a brand.
Well,
5 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm in my cups at this point, and I'm also, I'm trying to avoid the hysteria that this opponent of mine now, I would officially call him an opponent, is trying to dredge up, in terms of fomenting opposition. Oh shit! You sure you were never a what is it? Last Dance? What's it called? What did I say? Shit! You sure you were never? Uh-oh, that came out of nowhere. What was that? I don't know where that came from. What I call it? Not a drudge. It wasn't a drudge master. It was a something master.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it was earlier in the show. The agility, theories of digital management.
Oh, Scrum.
Scrum master. That's right. You sure you were never a Scrum master?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right. Uh-oh. It's only 8:34. Yeah, my eyes aren't working right now. Now everything's not working right. My brain's not working right.
I have to put these babies on occasion sometimes.
Every now and then. Yeah. I mean, let me find them. Where are they?
Ridiculous. Trying to meet the directions to this Chinese pool we got. No, motherfuckers couldn't have printed it any smaller. I mean, it's right here. Look at that shit. This is not that wide. That's like 6 inches. Look how small the print is on that
That's
thing.
what we call an A5 sheet.
These are the glasses that I actually have to use to study. In order to study, I have to use These
Wow, we've got thicker milk bottle bottoms.
I know. Let me go this way with them. Oh, that's what I have to use to study.
You can burn ants with them.
These are trifocals, Oh, it is sort of amazing to me. I've noticed that almost all of you guys don't have to wear glasses when you're on camera. And I mean, I can't function at all without glasses on camera. Back in 1994, I had what's called a radical keratotomy. Instead of laser, correction, I had mechanical correction, which I correction.
Mechanical erection.
It was terrible that erection mechanical, where an actual scalpel was used to cut, incisions into my irises or my lenses, and it was stupid for me not to wait a year or two and get the laser corrective. What do they call it now? LASIK, yeah. And
so you went for the sword rather than to wait for the laser.
Yeah, and that was a big mistake because the good effects of that only lasted about 6 years or so at the most, about crazy. 5 years. Yeah, and now I've got all sorts of weird things that go on with my
floaters and shit like that. Like
no, more like it's like star.
Like an aura,
light alignments that look like star.
Weird
starburst.
Left, right. My left eye was worse than my right eye, so it has 8 incisions. My right eye has 4 incisions, and the good effects of those incisions only lasted, like I said, about 5-6 years. And I just, looking at it in retrospect, I remember how much I wanted to not be myopic, not to be visually myopic, and I just wanted out of it, and that was stupid. I mean, it was.
I heard recently about a guy who was wearing this device for a test that flipped his vision, and after like three or 4 weeks of him having this flipped vision, his brain made it upright again.
Huh.
So it made sense of it.
So what happens when he took it off?
It took a few weeks to go back to normal.
Weird.
It sounds like it would give you a headache at the very least.
Oh yeah, I would imagine so.
It really is amazing how, almost all of you guys, and the women that come on periodically too, almost none of you wear, eyeglasses. And I thought that the ratio was much higher, of eyeglass wearers to, persons who didn't have to wear eyeglasses. And I don't know, maybe I'm just in with the crew of.
Yeah, you're right, because of my 3 closest buddies, they all wore glasses pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
I was genetically blessed not to be a glasses guy, but only Chinese.
My mum and my dad both wear glasses in the older age, so maybe I need to wear glasses in the next 20 years.
In older age, it happens to almost everybody. I mean, almost everybody. But it's a big deal, in youth, it's a big deal. I never realized it until I got dissed, really badly by a couple of different women.
For glasses?
Yeah, for glasses. Oh, sure.
Oh, fuck those bitches, dude.
That was, I told you how much stuff I did in vain when I was a lifeguard on the beach patrol. I should have never been a lifeguard on the beach patrol. I never lost anybody in the surf, but there was a much higher risk of me losing somebody in the surf than there was of somebody with 20/20 vision,
So you were somewhat faking the lifeguard position.
Somewhat. Yes,
that's hilarious. Dude.
Tell me at least you got him.
And the way that I, faked it was to be the fucking,
right.
To toot my little horn, was the best swimmer on the fucking beach patrol. That's how I did it.
Yeah, when the captain of the lifeguards interviewed you, he was probably like, this guy's fucking ripped. Of course he can swim.
Right.
No worries here. And then were you out there like like doggy paddle, half crawl, or can you,
I could fucking beat some fucking cheeks now on my fucking Australian crawl. I'm telling you.
all right,
now.
okay. So you could swim. So you have a solid stroke. All right.
Yeah. Well, I told you guys, fucking full scholarship swimmer at LSU, for fuck's sake. God damn.
I haven't been
Nearsighted
swimming for a long
myopic asshole
time,
that
but I
I'm
used to
telling
be a
you.
really strong swimmer.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
So then you were somewhat qualified. Like, I mean, that sounds pretty solid.
Yeah.
For Biscuit Babes?
No, for you.
You.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, there were what's that called when you do something that you compensate? I could compensate for the nearsightedness, but
Right.
still, I mean, it was
Was perfect vision a requirement for being a lifeguard?
there were vision requirements, and I think that the I was sort of like the golden boy, in my district. I was a district, top chick. I mean, I don't want to fucking toot my horn too much. I mean, I was a top, aquatic athlete. We'll call it aquatic athlete in the district, and I was a contender in the region, and then I got into a Division 1A college on full scholarship for swimming, and so
Pretty awesome.
yeah, when you're dealing with just locals who are not college graduates, never attended college, aren't swimmers, on a swim team at all, and yet they're lifeguards, it makes for a different profile. So yeah, I mean, I was held to a different standard at one level, but at another level, I always had I always knew that it was in vain. I always knew that I had no business being there. And that's a pretty fucking weird spot to be in. It's, do you ever remember the Peter Principle, the book, The Peter Principle?
Of course I do.
People rise to their own level of incompetence.
Of course.
That's the Peter Principle. You rise to the very utmost level of your own incompetence. And that's what I was doing. And and as I've said before, I already had the fucking spinal injuries. I had the spinal injuries at age 17, and I should have been focusing on academic and intellectual development, not athletic and physical development. And I should have been a fat, smart guy in my mid-20s instead of an athletic idiot in my mid-20s. That's the long and short of it. That really is the long and short of it. So
apparently Steve had a birthday. Happy birthday, Steve.
Why, thank you.
I mean,
Happy
this
birthday, Steve.
is a revelation, sir.
It's my daughter's birthday in 2 days.
Nice, dude.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, it was my birthday a few days ago. It was relatively uneventful, as you guys probably know, once you get older and you have...
Did you say velvetly uneventful?
Relatively. But my words might be melding together at this point.
No, I think his hearing is melding words together.
That's, if you can see my exaggerated responses to what's happening, along with my...
I mean, my daughter's having quite an unconventional birthday. She's already had 300 quid spent on her.
Oh, yeah.
300?
She got a new laptop, new desk chair, about 70 quid's worth of Pokemon cards.
Cool.
Very good, Dad. Oh,
and also about 100 quid's worth of McDonald's Happy Meals.
You're a good.
Are you going to have kids over? Like have a
No. She's going to have just a little family get together at my mum's next week.
Is it too risky because of the
No,
times?
It's not risky. It's just she's going to see her mum and her brother.
Nice. That's cool.
Next Saturday. So she's going to have a little get together then.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
For the first time in 2 years, she's going to see her mum and her brother.
Unreal, huh? Unreal. That'll be a good visit.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I won't be there because I don't want nothing to do with her.
What do you drop her off? And then
No, my mum picks her up and my dad takes them.
Oh, cute. That's nice. Sounds good, man. Happy Meals joke. Yeah, that's right. Well, fellas, what do you think?
Well, I'm
I'm
slowing
thinking
down.
it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, and I am pooped, ready for bed.
I'm out of words, so
I'm about to make another drink and then listen to some 90s hairband music. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows what?
sounds good.
Probably end up being Till Tuesday, Voices Carry. It's a classic. It's great. Listen to it sometime. But anyways, gents, what do you say? Good night?
Say good night.
night.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for the show,
Yep,
Steve.
yep.
Great, great being here as always.
You're
All
a
right.
great host, sir. Thank you for doing that.
All right, guys. Take care.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.
See you, George.
See ya.
Hey, Biscuit. Thanks for being here, bro.
No worries, Steve. See you later, buddy.
All right. See you next weekend, maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Later, homie.
Later.
Oh, the boys are gone. Well, it was a fine show. It was a fine show. It was a good one. Cup of tea. You stuck around, homeboy. Thank you. That's life, not as we know it, too. Still here. Georgie in the comments. What's up, George? Thank you for being here, brother. Smokesteve, wife. Love you, baby. What else do we got? Let's get that off the screen. Can I get that off the screen? Yes, I can. Stephen Law, you were the man. Cup of tea, of course. May have already said that. Joe Nicholson. Joey. What's up, Joe? Joey. Everybody, you were great tonight. It was a killer show. Sammy Cat, can't forget you. Gotta go through everything here until I get to where it won't refresh anymore. Geo Track. Geo. HP Hatecraft. Emma. Geo. Wait. Last Dance, of course. Just running through the list. Joe Nicholson. Blind Fury. Art 146. Everybody. We all made this show better and great. And I really appreciate everybody being here. Until next time, goodbye and good night.